Okay, I call to order the Morris Township Board of Adjustment meeting. Today is March 5th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Statement of compliance with the Open Meetings Act. A legal notice required in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act has been satisfied and statement certifying same will be executed. Would you please rise and salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First order of business, we're going to proceed with our reorg meeting. We have Danelle Williams and Singa Pulara to take their oaths of office. Singa, would you just come up here? Danelle, why don't you go to that corner? Would you raise your right hands and then repeat after me? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and I will bear faith and allegiance to the same and to the government established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of the Board of Adjustment according to the best of my ability. Congratulations. Singa, would you sign this? Do you have a pen? You need a pen. Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
22 years? Wow. Journey to sign that.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so first would be nomination for the year 2026. Is there a nomination for the board chair?
I'd like to nominate for the board chair.
Okay. Sure.
For roll call, we have Mr. B. Gilbert.
Somebody has it.
Just the dentist's office.
No, you log in. Did you log in?
He's not on. His mic's not on.
No. Okay.
Try again.
Yeah.
Mr. Lee Goldberg,
There you go.
Yes.
present.
Present or, I
No, yes.
didn't hear the
the
question.
motion for chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. For roll call, Mr. Lee Goldberg. Yes. Mr. Andrew Trachtenberg.
Here.
Mr. Donnell Williams.
Yes.
Mr. David Schuster is not present. Mr. Edward Benoit.
Yes.
Mr. William Kramer.
Yes.
Mr. Paul Woodford.
Here.
Miss Betty Simmons.
Yes.
And Miss Snigda Pilara.
All right, so Mr. Woodford is the board chairman for 2026. Mr. Chairman? Yeah. Your seat.
Yeah.
We're going to do a roll call after we reorg.
Okay, next is nominations for board vice chair.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Lee Goldberg.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Mr. Krupat, roll
Yep.
call on that?
Mr. Goldberg.
Yes.
Mr. Trachtenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Benoit.
Yes.
Mr. Kramer.
Yes.
Mr. Woodford.
Yes.
Ms. Simmons.
Yes.
Okay, you're on board again. Next, we have several resolutions for nominations to fill positions. The first is for legal counsel, Richard Oler, I assume everybody has read that proposed resolution. Any comments? If not, I'll have a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve that.
okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, do I have to do a roll call or just acclamation? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Next, for planning consultant, Kate Keller and Elizabeth Laney. Can everybody has read that, and can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Next, engineering consultant, Joseph Voigt, same thing. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll move it.
Thanks. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Motion carries. Next is John Jar as the traffic consultant. Can I have a motion on that?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, professional appointments, Ryan Kirpat as board secretary.
I'll move that.
You move that? So
Sure.
Second. Ryan, you have any objection?
I do not.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
You're in. Next is the resolution with the draft for meetings for this year and for January reorg meeting in 2027. Any comments, questions on it? If not, a motion to adopt the resolution.
So move.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. What do we got next? That's it. Now we can go into our regular resolutions. Mr. Older?
Yeah, so we're going to open the regular meeting. And, Ryan, I'm going to ask you to do a roll call for the regular meeting, please.
Sure. Mr. Goldberg,
Here.
Mr. Trachtenberg,
Here.
Mr. Williams,
Here.
Mr. Schuster is not here, Mr. Benoit,
Here.
Mr. Kramer,
Here.
Mr. Woodford,
Here.
Ms. Simmons,
Here.
and Ms. Florida. Thank you.
Okay, now we do have several resolutions. The first being application BA 1625 for Edward Dwyer. Mr. Dwyer applied to the board for variance relief to permit various additions to an existing single-family dwelling at 17 Springbrook Road in the RA15 zone. For the reasons that are set forth in the resolution, that application was conditionally granted with standard conditions.
Okay, board members, any comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Kirkpat, roll call?
Sure. Mr. Goldberg,
Yes.
Mr. Trachtenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Benoit,
Yes.
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
Mr. Woodford,
Yes.
Ms. Simmons.
Abstain.
Were you not here for that one?
Okay. Okay, next.
All right, next is the resolution for Carl Hess for property at 529 Jockey Hollow Road. Mr. Hess applied to the board for variance relief to permit the installation of a 16 by 24 foot pergola on an existing patio on his property, which is in the RA 130 zone. And for the reasons set forth in this resolution, that application was conditionally granted with our standard conditions.
Okay, board members, any questions on the resolution? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Kirkpat?
Mr. Goldberg,
Yes.
Mr. Trachtenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schuster is not here, Mr. Benoit,
Yes.
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
Mr. Woodford,
Yes.
and Ms. Simmons.
Abstain.
Okay, next.
Okay, next is a resolution with respect to the application filed by Jerome Brumby for property at 32 Winmore Drive. Mr. Brumby applied to the board for permission to modify an existing non-conforming dwelling by constructing an addition to his existing dwelling requiring side yard, rear yard variances, building coverage, and expansion of an existing non-conforming structure. And for the reasons set forth in that resolution, It was approved conditionally with our standard conditions, as well as a condition indicating that he had to correct the zoning compliance chart.
Thank you. Board members, any comments, questions? If not, entertain a resolution, motion.
I'll move that.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Kurpat, roll call.
Mr. Goldberg,
Yes.
Mr. Trachtenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Abstain.
Mr. Benoit,
Yes.
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
Mr. Woodford,
Yes.
and Ms. Simmons.
Yes.
Okay, and the last resolution with respect to an application filed by Alex and Jacqueline Ohlers for property at 10 Barbary Road. The applicants applied to the board for permission to modify an existing non-conforming dwelling by rebuilding an existing garage and constructing a second-story addition above the garage, and to maintain an existing non-conforming front porch requiring front yard variance relief, as well as a variance to expand an existing non-conforming structure. That application, for the reasons set forth in the resolution, was approved with our standard conditions, as well as a condition indicating that the applicant shall submit a lot grading plan to the satisfaction of the township engineer.
Okay. Board members, any questions, comments? If not, entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Goldberg,
Yes.
Mr. Trachtenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Abstain.
Mr. Benoit,
Yes.
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
Mr. Woodford,
Yes.
and Ms. Simmons.
Yes.
We are up to public hearings.
Yes. Do you want to make an announcement on that?
Yes, so as you can tell, the board's agenda is rather full this evening. We are not going to hear applications filed by Andrew and Kelly Gibbons for 9 Norwood Court. We are not going to hear the application filed by Joseph Messer for property at 286 Mendham Road. We are not going to hear the application filed by Knollwood Holdings for 40 Knollwood Drive. And we are not going to hear the application by Glenn David for property at 9 Westminster Place. Each of those applications will be heard at the board's next meeting on March 23rd at 7 p.m. in this room, and there will be no further notices from the applicant. Okay?
Okay. Okay, there's all my neighbors. I told most of them Hollywood to go. I live right down the road. The woman in the kid, you have to recuse yourself. Andy's next to me. The one just, Where's Andy's next neighbor?
Yeah.
No.
Well, Knollwood Road doesn't run off of Sussex. Knollwood Road is off Knollwood Drive is off of Canadian.
Yeah. Really?
But it's right
I
there.
said, house had told him it'd be built in a
Across the
field.
street up there.
I'll have to look at those applications. There was a pretty good turnout. I don't know. What's going on?
They just, I told you the neighborhood was showing up
They
in
wanted
force.
to add a third floor and have it habitable space. And they want to for it down to just that height.
You one of those people that post.
Significantly more than on the other side. And that's,
Yeah.
as you know, that
Okay, we're gonna do the short one first?
the neighborhood is.
Okay, I'm gonna call, next we're gonna hear, BA-23-25, Sean and Nicole Freeman for block 9403, lot 2, 15 Nichols Road, in an RA 25 zone. Mr. Kurpak, can you read out the,
Sure. The applicant proposes construction of a one-story addition over the existing footprint of the house, creating a front yard setback of 52.8 feet along Nichols Road where 60 feet is required.
okay. Where are Mr. Nichols? Okay, here he comes.
Good evening.
Can we have your names and appearances for the record, please? Okay,
I
thank
think the
you.
microphone is. It's off.
Yeah, just,
There you go. Oh, wait. No, turn it on again.
It'll turn green. There you
There
go.
you go.
Sean Freeman?
Okay. All right, would you both please stand and raise your right hands? And I'm going to ask you to stand and raise your right hand too, please. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give to this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. And just for the record, again, your names?
Yeah, Douglas Miller from AHM Architects. Sean Freeman, homeowner.
Okay.
Here on the details, please.
The board planner. Yes.
Okay, be seated. And who's going to testify first?
He's just going to say a few words and then I'll do the testimony.
Okay, great, thanks.
My name is Sean Freeman, as I said. My wife, Nicole Freeman, and I, and my two kids, Rashad and Nia Freeman, have lived in Morristown for 8 years now. We've attended Calvary Baptist Church in Morristown for 25 years, which is how we got introduced to the town. And we're looking to expand our home to accommodate more space for our family. My mom is aging, so we want to prepare the home for to take her in.
And thank you, Sean. And thank you for having this special meeting.
You have to follow protocols. Any board members have any questions? Any members of the public have any questions of this witness? Okay.
Yes, good evening. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a special meeting. I know we've been snowed out the last few times, so this is nice. Do you have to be?
Yes, would you please review for the board your professional background and educational background, please?
Yes, Douglas Miller from AHM Architects. We're located at 281 Main Street in Milburn, New Jersey. I haven't had the good fortune of making the presentation with this board, but I've made numerous presentations to a lot of the boards in the surrounding communities. I've been licensed since 2001, and my license is in good standing.
Okay. Thank you. You may proceed.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, as Sean said, he came to me with the goal of improving the house for the growing family. We originally worked together back in 2017 when they purchased the home. It was a ranch built in about 1955, and really nobody had done anything to it. So we did some small modifications to the inside to make a nicer kitchen and a little bit more open floor plan. But as their life circumstances have changed, we're seeking to expand the house to add a second floor over a portion of the first floor. So I think we have some exhibits I could pull up and kind of go through the plan.
Sure, that'd be great. That'd be wonderful.
Okay.
Do you have hard copies, or are we just putting them on screen?
I have hard copies, or we could do the screen, whatever. you prefer.
Hard copy for the file would be
Yeah.
great. Yeah, yeah, if you could hand that up to me, I'll mark it.
Yeah, and I could set up on a tripod if you prefer.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Mr. Freeman, while we're waiting, I want to let you know that I'm familiar with Calvary Baptist Church. My wife attends it. I'm
Okay.
not going to hold it against you.
It's how we got introduced to the town. So, yeah, we've been coming here. It's actually the first place we were introduced to in Jersey. My wife is from Maryland. I'm from New York.
Okay.
And we settled in Morristown around the church. So it's been a great home for us.
Good.
And so the architectural plan is what we have already, correct? Is there
Correct,
any
yes.
modification to that?
No, the
Okay.
plan is exactly the same as
Right.
what I.
So we're not going to mark the plan.
Correct. I do have a photo board. we can-
Yep, I see, yeah. So we'll mark the photo board A1. Why don't you just give us a brief description of what that is, as you put today's date on there, please, too?
It's a series of photos as well as some Google aerial imaging and mapping. The photos were taken by me on 2/29/26 of the surrounding community, and the aerial photos are pretty recent from Google Earth. Okay, so thank you. So our lot is approximately 155 by 153. The corner property It's a ranch-style house, as I said, built in 1955. The lot area is 23,497 square feet. It's located in the RA 25 zone. The front yard setback along both streets, Nichols and Cromwell, are both existing non-conforming. Along Cromwell, it's 51.6, where 60 feet is required. Along Nichols, it's 50.3, where again, 60 feet is required. We also have an existing non-conforming side yard, which would be this side of the property here to the south, adjacent to 11 Nichols Road. We have existing non-conforming setback of 22 feet, where 25 feet is required. And we also have an existing non-conforming rear yard at 33.3, where 35 is required. All other aspects of the lot are conforming. We were only requesting one variance for front yard setback at Nichols, and that's for a second floor addition over the existing first floor on the right side of the home. We're actually asking to improve that from the existing 50.3. We're pushing it back 2.5 feet to 52.8 feet. And I feel this project would qualify for both C1 or C2 arguments, and I'll go through the plans and I'll come back to the variance at the end. The site, there's only a couple changes to it. We're altering the patio and expanding it with a walkway to the drive. And we're also adding a deck at the rear. Both of these are conforming. We're adding a portico here at the front over the existing front stoop. That'll have a setback of about 55 feet, but my interpretation of your awareness and understanding is that a portico built over an existing front stoop is permitted without variance relief, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And this crocheted or hatched area, it represents where the addition is going to be placed in the home. It's on the right side over where the bedroom levels are. The left side of the house is primarily the living spaces and the garage. You can see we're pulling it in from the front and the side there. The small inset plan here represents the existing. The larger plan here is proposed. You can see the portico here is the change we talked about. We have the deck and the patio. And the only other change to the first floor is the additional staircase over the existing basement there to provide access to the second floor. The second floor is all new. It consists of basically a primary bedroom suite with a bedroom, bathroom, and sitting area, work from home office space. And you can see here the dash line will represent the first floor. So on the right side, we're pulling it in 3 feet to have that side yard setback conforming. So we do not need variance relief. We just need variance relief for this small section here, which is over setback.
Okay, so let me just look at that for a second. So that side yard is at 25 feet for your second floor?
Yeah.
Okay. Because on the plan, it shows 22, but that 22 is to your front, is your first floor?
Right,
setback?
exactly, yeah. The existing first floor is at 22, so that's existing non-conforming. So when we went up, we pulled it in,
Yep.
so we wouldn't need that variance.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look back at the first page with our site plan, we dotted in the setback line.
Yeah.
And the house is kind of uniquely sited on the property, but we're really just asking for variance relief. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just this tiny area here in the
Yep.
front, which is over that required 60-foot front yard. The next page are the existing elevations. It's a really nondescript ranch house. It's probably driven by thousands of these, not only in this town, but in all the surrounding communities. It's a fairly typical ranch-style home, very typical floor plan, very nondescript. Next page shows the size. And then this is the proposed. And what we're proposing here, this is really the area of the addition. What we're trying to do here is really create something a little bit more interesting while creating a space for my clients. This is the portico we talked about. You can see this is where we're pulling it in on that right side, that conforming setback. I think we're creating something a little bit more attractive, something that really enhances the curb appeal, something that my clients would really be excited about and pull to the house. make their house more unique and make it more their own. We're also upgrading the aesthetic on the outside by upgrading the materials. We're adding some stone, some clapboard, some cement board siding. And then the next page is the side elevations. On the left side, there's no change. You just see the addition in the back. And on the right side, you can see we've really tried to minimize any new fenestration, any windows on the second floor. So we just have one small window on that level to not only allow my client to have privacy, but also the neighbor, so we don't feel like we're looking onto each other. I'd like to also talk about the neighborhood, some points about the community as a whole. This is the way the house looks now, and these are interesting photos. This photo was taken from me, and you can see our house and the adjacent house at 11 Nichols. And then this is a summertime view. So you can see there's a lot of mature foliage between the two houses. It really creates privacy for them both. And the one thing I like to point out is the way that this community was developed. If you drive around, all the houses along Nichols, Cromwell, they're all very orderly. They're all kind of in a line, all have very similar setbacks. But the developer who did this whole community said, hey, you know what I'm going to do? On these corners, I'm going to turn all the houses on an angle, have them face the intersection. And in our case, our house is rotated clockwise, and the house across is rotated counterclockwise, so they look more toward the intersection of Nichols and Cromwell. And unfortunately, it makes a break in the streetscape and creates a little bit more interest in the corners. It presented a hardship, which gave us these existing non-conforming setbacks. We have an existing non-conforming setback, and it's really just that right front corner, because that's where it's rotated and pushed over that front yard setback line. I also took some measurements from the houses as you go down Nichols, and it's going to be an approximation because I'm measuring off the curb. I don't have surveys of the other houses, but it's calculating what their setbacks would be from what ours would be from the street. They average about 55 or so obviously less than the 60-foot required. So I would say that less than 60 is pretty typical. 11 Cromwell to our right is a little bit closer. A little bit further back, and number 9 is much closer to the street. So even though there is some sort of consistency, they kind of push and pull, 5 to 8 feet from one another. So what we're asking for is not really inconsistent with the community, even though we are asking for a deviation. So I feel these variances can be approved without impacting the neighborhood, because the benefits of what we're doing, I think, really outweigh the detriments. We're not creating these non-conformities. We're trying to work with them. We're asking for a small vertical intensification of the existing non-conformity, but at the same time, we're improving that by pulling the front of the house back 2.5 feet. And then again, if you look at the aerial image, we have no neighbors to the back. The rear is Route 24, so we're not really impacting anybody there. The other two sides are streetscapes, so we're not impacting anybody there, and the only neighbor we have is really 11 Cromwell, and again, with the mature foliage and the way that our addition is turned away from them, we're not really impacting them at all. And we're also the northernmost house on that block, so we're not impacting light, air, and open space because we're not casting any shadows on those homes. So overall, I think the scale of this is very appropriate for the neighborhood. It's a ranch, but there's a lot of houses throughout the community that are multi-story. It improves the character of the home, improves the housing stock. Like I said, preserves the light, air, and open space, and will conform with all other requirements of the zone. And I think what we're doing is not really a detriment to the zoning plan of the township. So I'd like to open up for any questions and take my presentation.
Board members, any questions? Seeing none, hearing none?
I just have a comment.
Sure.
I like the architectural work that you've done.
Oh, thank you.
We need more of that in this town.
Any members of the public with any questions of this witness? Seeing none, hearing none, close the public portion. Okay, any members of the public want to speak on this application? Seeing none, hearing none? Do you have any final comments? Or you?
No, thank you for your time.
Okay. Well, I looked at this right away and I said, Yes. I'm familiar with the neighborhood. I've lived in town for 60 years. And we actually looked for a house in this neighborhood at one time, put in a bid on one, but didn't get it. But it'll improve the neighborhood, it'll improve the house tremendously. You're not impacting the neighbors at all. So I'd be all in favor of this application. But I can hear from any other members.
I'm in agreement with you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that this application be approved and move forward.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Mr. Krupat, roll call?
Mr. Goldberg.
Yes.
Mr. Trachtenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Simmons.
Yes.
Mr. Benoit.
Yes.
Mr. Kramer.
Yes.
And Mr. Woodford.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. And a nice presentation, nice,
Yeah.
concise. Thank you for that. Yes.
Yes, please.
We will have a resolution at the next, well, the next meeting is in 2 weeks, so maybe at the next, if not the normal next meeting is whenever that is, April.
Okay. Next, we have BA-04-25, continuing hearing on 383 South Street LLC. Ryan, you're supposed to keep this,
Thank you. Yep.
not let Richard steal it.
See how bad the bald spot is? I'm not looking anymore. Don't look. 'Cause then I see-
Don't look.
I see it all.
Don't bring our attention to it. We won't be able to concentrate.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Okay.
Get one.
So, where are we, Mr. Cali? Why don't you give us a summary, because it's been a while.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everybody. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for the record, Larry Cali on behalf of the applicant, 383 South Street, LC. It has been a while, and we appreciate you continuing the matter tonight. Our intent is, as it's been, every time we've appeared here recently, is to try and conclude. We've got a very limited deck that you'll hear from, but procedurally, I think the objectors are continuing to conclude with their final witnesses. But what you hear from us tonight, Mr. Chairman and members, will be a limited recall of civil engineering testimony in response to a very limited and targeted item we heard during the last public hearing from our objectors, retained engineer. We then will have initial direct testimony from an acoustic witness who submitted a very limited memo to the town on February 12th, which is in the record. And our witness, Mr. Mueller, who's an acoustic engineer, will swear him in, will qualify him. He will briefly go over the benefit of the summary and conclusions of that memo in support of the application. At that point, I think we're going to conclude. You've heard from our full complement of witnesses to date, our operations witness from the Bruin family. You've heard civil engineering to conclusion from Fred Stewart. We've had traffic engineering and parking analysis suitability study from Craig Perigoy of Dynamic Traffic. We've had full architectural testimony to a conclusion, and you've heard planning testimony to a conclusion, including all of the proofs offered in support of the variances. We then turned it over to our neighbors to present their case in chief, which started, and that's where we last left off, was our neighbors' case in chief. They went to and through their civil engineering testimony. They had a tech issue with their next witness, I think, and I think that's where we last called it a day, I believe in October, Mr. Chairman. So my recollection is the next step of the process, and I will defer to Rich, of course, is our objector will continue with their case in chief. We hope that they conclude as expeditiously as we prosecuted our case in chief. We'll have a very limited recall. We need about 15 minutes total, Mr. Chairman, on our
Okay.
recall, and then we're done.
All right.
Mr. Rosenbach is here.
Yes, subject to one thing.
Would you just use the microphone, please? Yeah.
I have one slight disagreement as to where we are, and also I have a request, although it ends up being a very short request. Slight disagreement is we're actually in the middle of two witnesses. We did not finish Mr. Vieira because of the technical problems, and we actually never finished the engineer, Mr. Chisette. So once we start, I'll start with Mr. Vieira and then we will continue with Mr. Chisette. I gave the board a table of contents of who our other witnesses were going to be. If you want me to repeat it, I will, because it's been a long time.
Yes, please, for the benefit of the public, please.
Sure. I won't worry about names for the moment, but we have a civil engineer, that's Mr. Chisette, and then we're going to have a wetland specialist, and then we're going to have an acoustic engineer, and then finally we're going to have our planner. And at that point, he will be done. Now, my short request is this. I don't know who she is, I've never spoken to her, but it has come to me that there's someone here who would like to be able to put her comments on the record before us, because she'll have to leave probably before we ever finish. And I can be short, and I have no objection to it.
I would rather have them in order, especially if she's going to make comments, you should hear all the testimony. At least that's my gut, because this is getting fractured already, and I want to try to unfracture it as much as possible.
I promised I would make the request.
Okay, what do you think?
Well, I think we're up to the objector's part of the case. And, you know, if Mr. Rosenbach wants to step aside so another objector can have something to say, because they won't have that opportunity to do so later tonight, then, you know, I mean, it's a little out of order because they're just going to cut her in, but I think
we can do
it's
it.
not inappropriate.
Okay. You don't represent her, correct?
No, I've never
Okay.
spoken to her, as I said. I
Okay.
don't know who she is.
Okay.
So we'll all be surprised.
Is she here?
Is she here? What's her name?
Irene.
That's me.
All
All
right.
right,
Okay.
all right.
All right.
Any objection, Mr. Kelly?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, you know, there is one other thing while you're coming up. Our board engineer is not here physically here today, but I thought he was going to tie in on Zoom. Do we have him?
Correct. I'm present on Zoom.
Okay, good. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, so before you start, I am going to swear you in, so your statements will be under oath, okay? Would you, yeah, thank you for that. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will give to this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. And can we have your name, please?
My name is Eileen Vasquez. If the microphone maybe
Is the mic on?
Yeah, or talk right into it.
I don't know if it's on.
Is it on?
Might not be on.
The button on the bottom.
I might be a little bit nervous, so please excuse me.
Yeah, it's not.
Hello? Hello?
It's not on.
Maybe my voice is just low.
I don't think it's on.
Doesn't, it isn't lit up at the bottom.
You always have a problem with that mic.
Hello?
There you go. There you go. Okay.
Hi.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here. My name is Eileen Vasquez, and I live on 20 Sand Hill Road. And yes, I do live in Morristown and not Morris Township. So I do, I'm here on behalf of those people who can't be here today, people who are taking care of their sick husbands, people who are in hospice. I'll make a long story short. I moved here about 5 years ago from Jersey City. I'm a city girl. My mom developed pancreatic cancer. And we live in Jersey City. We lived in Jersey City for over 40 years. And my mom got really sick. She had jaundice, and I had to take her to a hospital. And they told me that she was only going to last 4 months. They told my brother she was going to only last 4 months. They told me she was going to last 6 months. I had no choice but to do research and try to get her the best help. I didn't want to lose my mom. Pancreatic cancer is a very bad disease. I mean, it's the silent killer. So I got her into a hospital. They did a procedure called the Whipple procedure. It took over 12 hours for her to get it. As I was waiting for her, the Whipple procedure is a procedure that they do for pancreatic cancer where they take a bunch of your bad parts that has cancer. They take it out on a table. They take out the bad parts and then put all those pieces in. My mom had a scar from left to right. I had to do everything quickly because we couldn't waste time. So she was going through her operation. 12 hours, it took more than that. It took over 12 hours. While I was home, I prayed to God, and I said, God, let my mom live for a longer time, right? I would do anything for her. Just give me more time with her. Okay? My mom successfully got out of that surgery, okay? I promised God I would give her everything she wanted, right? So my mom wanted to move out of Jersey City because they were pulling up pipes. It was very noisy, very dirty. So I went to school here, College of St. Elizabeth, and my son went to Fairleigh Dickinson. So she said, I want to move to Morristown. I said, Mom, are you sure? You don't want to go to Puerto Rico? You don't want to go to Florida? You don't want to go to Missouri? You don't want to go anyplace else? She says, no, I want to move to Morristown. So I sold her house in Jersey City all by myself, just to give her what she wanted. We moved here. She wanted to move here because she wanted peace and tranquility. Okay? That's something you don't find too often in these days, especially not in the city. So it's very, very hard. I'm here speaking on behalf of those residents who can't speak because they're afraid to come here, and I have a big mouth. I'm always talking to everybody, but I'm talking on behalf of them. There's a lot of people who just want peace and tranquility. And I do respect the Bruins. I don't know them very well, and I know they have a business. But, can't we compromise? I'm speaking for all of the residents here. Compromise. You can have your cafe. You can have whatever else you want, just not noisy parties. Not, if you have every other business, give the people not the big parties. Because a lot of people here that you don't know are sick. They need peace and tranquility. Okay? And I think all of you would agree, you wouldn't want a venue. When you come home from work, you want to just relax, right? You don't want to hear loud noises and all that. You just want to go home and relax. And that's what these people want. That's what I want. My mom is no longer living, but you know what? She always told me to stand up for what we believe in. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to stand up for my friends, for people who welcomed me into this Morristown Township, Morristown, which I don't understand that coming from Jersey City because they fix one road or they fix one side of the road, but we're all united. We're all one people, right? I mean, can't we compromise? That's all that they want, peace and tranquility. I've stood on their porch, okay? And one day I was there in Guy's porch and Eric's porch, and I closed my eyes. And you know what I heard? I heard birds chirping. I heard a couple of bats, I think I heard as well. I'm not sure. I think they were bats. Hopefully they weren't bears because they are bears here too. I've witnessed twice. But, I did that test just to see what is it that they hear. And I understood what they're here. They're here fighting for themselves, but they're also fighting here for everyone else who feels the same way. That's all that they want. And I've been I come to the meetings all the time, and that's all I wanted to say. But it goes too long, and I have to take care of my dad, who's at home. So that's why I've had to leave. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. And I appreciate it, and please listen to them because they are telling the truth, and they just want peace and tranquility. That's all.
Thank you. Just 1 second before you leave. Any questions from any board members?
I just have a question. What street are you on again?
20 Sand Hill Road.
Sand Hill Road. Thank you.
Very well.
Mr. Cali, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay,
All right, then I'm ready to proceed. I'm going to recall Mr. Viera, he's already been sworn, if you want me to swear him.
Yeah, I will swear him again. Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will give to this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So
I do.
And your full name for the record again, please?
Eric Vieira,
Could you spell your last name?
Vieira.
Mr. Vieira, your profession?
I'm a hairstylist.
Okay, so you're a fact witness here.
Yes,
Right.
he's factory.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, where do you live, Mr. Viera?
18 Prospect Place,
And how
Got
many doors away from the site is that?
three doors down.
Okay, so, all right, so Mr. Viera, you were here, I guess it was in October, and we ran into some technical difficulties, and because what you were trying to do at that time was show the board, I believe, a video of something, am I correct?
Yes.
And are you prepared to do that now?
Yes, I wanted to start off with the
Few things first, if that's okay. I don't know if you guys would like me to angle this toward you, or if you would like me, I didn't, with all due respect, feel confident in the acousticals that you guys had going on last time. They just weren't working. So if it's all right with you, I
So
can
did
turn
we
this
try
toward
to
you.
get it on our system?
I did. I tried several times.
I don't mean last time, I mean today.
No, today I did not. No.
Okay,
And
because
I
our
don't wanna waste the
engineer
board's
is on
time.
Zoom, and he's not going to be able to see this because it's on your screen, not ours. Do we have a digital copy of it? Did you email it to us?
The problem is with email, it's such a large file, I don't think that it's possible to email it. It's all on Keynote.
Yeah.
Should everyone on Zoom get to see?
Well, if they really wanted to participate, they'd be here. You can't participate on Zoom, but I'm not worried about that part. I would just like our engineer to see it, but he'll listen to it.
Screen now.
If the camera stays on the current view, I can see the screen.
All right,
Okay.
perfect.
Excellent.
Okay, perfect.
And then we also note that this process of Mr. Viera showing it on his own equipment has been the subject of discussion with the board secretary or board staff now for months. It's not just something that he suddenly decided to do tonight.
Yeah, I remember from last time that we had a problem trying to get it on the system, but this works now. So Joe, you can see it, right?
And at the end of the day, I just didn't want to waste the board's time.
Yeah.
We wasted a lot of
Yes, I can see it.
in a hurry to move
Yeah.
things along, so let's just move things along.
So, Mr. Viera, why don't you first tell the board what it is you're going to show them?
I'd like to start off by showing just regular garden noise. What it's like living, ever since the Bruins moved in, just conducting their business from a day-to-day operation, without them adding a coffee shop or an event space or retail store or any of the other events that they're already having. Just a regular, quote-unquote, garden center. Okay?
Before you start, Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Rich, for the record, we should mark this as an exhibit.
Yeah,
I
I'm
will.
looking, I think we did. That's what I'm looking at. So
yeah, I don't see.
I have it as 05 from last time, right? There was a videotape taken by Eric Vieira on September 13th, 2025. Is that what we're going to see?
That's not what we're starting with, no.
Is it a different one?
We're going to start with a few different ones. I
Okay.
decided to change the order. We're going to work our way into that, but I'd like to start with something else first.
Okay, so
I'd
then
like
we're going to
start
mark
with-
this as 08.
Okay.
All right, the first one we had where we weren't successful in getting it to play was 05. Right, so this one is 08.
And can we authenticate them as we go? Who took the video and what was the
Yeah.
date
Yes.
and time?
Sure.
Please,
Yeah.
thank you.
And let me also say that after tonight, I know you might say it's after the horses have run out of the barn, but I know that we can always put these on a Dropbox and make them accessible. Okay?
All right.
And Mr. Ray's right, you can never email these things. But we could do a Dropbox if that'll work, if it's necessary. Okay, so 08, could you identify for the board and for the record what is now being designated as 08?
Okay, so I'm going to start with, this is Sunday, October 5th, 2025 at 3:37 p.m.
taken from?
This is from my backyard. I'm just zooming in. And this is just a regular Sunday at 3:30.
And have you tinkered?
I'm sorry, can you either play the noise or speak?
Oh, I
what
can't.
you're trying to say?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was just a quick.
I was gonna ask you, and I want you to be very clear to the board, have you tinkered with the sound level at all in this?
Nope, nothing. And then this is on, this goes up to, I believe 100. This is at 35 right now. Okay?
All right, and is that the entirety of 08?
Yes. Of this exhibit?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, then,
They're not that long, but just to give you a little quick, synopsis of what, I didn't want to drag it out.
okay, what's next?
Okay, so this is Tuesday, October 7th at 11:33 a.m.
Rich, was that 09 or is this all 08 for you?
This is all 08. I'm considering it one, and then we'll just have subparts in terms of what the dates are.
Okay. So now we're at Monday, October 13th at 10:30 a.m. Michael Bruin waving. This was just 36 hours after they had told us that they had not taken down any trees on October 27th. Wednesday, October 29th, 36 hours after Callie and the Bruins insisted they hadn't taken down any trees. They're picking them up. You can see it looks like they're almost moving them into a dumpster. Wednesday, October 29th, 12 p.m. Same day. Again, hiding all the evidence as fast as possible. A substantial amount of trees were taken down. Substantial. December 1st. If nothing else, we hear blowers going constantly, daily, at least 6 or 7 blowers going at the same time. Lighting. I understand that there can't be anything done with lighting, but it is lit up like Magic Kingdom. This is at 3:37 in the morning on November 13th, and it's like this every single night, all night long. It's just blaring. All kinds of light. I had to get special shades for my windows. Our bedrooms face the Bruins, so now we had to get special shades just to block out all the light that comes up Prospect Place. This is from John's house. He has all kinds of light coming toward him.
What is John's address?
John is right next door to me, so he's 20 Prospect Place. This is a friends and family event that they had on Saturday, May 3rd. They've had several events, even though I was under the impression from that meeting that we had prior to October 27 that they weren't supposed to be having events, but they continue to have them. All kinds of food. And moving on. Okay, so now we go to Saturday, September 13th, the date of the video that I was moving on to. We have not gotten to that specific video yet. This is the beginning of that evening. This is at 6:33 p.m.
Stop that for a second. Before you start the video, explain to the board, because we've been cautioned not to speak over the video. Explain to the board what it is that they're going to be saying. And if you have to stop it and pause it from time to time, do so as well.
Okay. Basically, this is the parking lot right across the street. They had an event on September 13th.
You mean the office building?
Yes, the office building. And the thing is that noise, even on a Saturday, if there's no cars in that office building, it's a direct line. The way they have, I'll show you that in a minute, the way they have their speakers set up and the way they position their buildings, it creates a tunnel of noise that goes right up Prospect Place, and it literally directly, it hits all 3 of our houses. Like it's a direct aim right at John Peel's house, and me and John Weisgerber next to me we're the ones that feel it the most. We're the loud. We just hear it the most. It's loud and clear. So this is right across, the street from us, basically, but we hear it loud and clear. There's no buffer anywhere to camouflage any of this noise. The people on South Street have buffers because there's buildings that you walk through, which you will see in the 3rd video. And believe me, you hear that bass. Okay. Moving on.
That was all from the parking lot, correct?
Yes, that was from the parking lot, which is right across the street from me. So we hear announcements, DJs. this is something we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear DJs and announcements. I'm sorry, forgive me. We're here almost 11 years living. I'm living in my house almost 11 years. I've never heard this. I've never heard a party like this in all the time that I'm living here. And now all of a sudden I have to be sitting in my backyard hearing, here comes Shannon now. I met Shannon in the 2nd grade. No, I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. And this is the video that I was trying to get to at the last meeting, on October 27th. I just want to pause this for 1 second. I'm walking up South Street. I'm making a right onto Pear Street, okay? It doesn't sound that loud right now, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Pay attention to all of the structures that I'm passing, okay, that you pass until you get past that yellow truck. When you get past that yellow truck, that's what we're hearing, loud and clear. There's no buffers whatsoever. So that's what we're hearing, loud and clear. And it's a substantial difference in noise.
Excuse me,
Go
to
ahead.
make it real clear, when you're going on South Street and you're turning on Pear, you're turning toward Prospect.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. We're turning toward Prospect Place. So South Street isn't being impacted the way we're being impacted because you're turning onto Prospect and you're heading right toward our homes, which are back here, which are in direct line to this event space, which is right there where she's sitting. And that's what we're hearing.
Stop right there, stop. Did you change the volume of your video?
Of course not.
No, I'm asking.
Of course not.
Okay.
It's a substantial difference. It's like boom. Because once you get past that, you hit that tunnel, those speakers are coming in loud and clear, and that's what we're hearing.
All right, keep going, please.
So now we move on to the next video. Called South Street Gardens. A new reality, 7 nights a week until 10 p.m. Okay, I just want to show just a few different events that have been going on. This is Saturday, September 6th. Another.
Well, why don't you describe them?
Well, there's all kinds of different ones that they have. This is the other one was from 1 to 4, different kinds of music. Let's see, this one was This is Saturday lineup, live, let me back up. Saturday lineup, live music in the courtyard, music by Michael Bruin from 1 to 4. Yeah, it's a Saturday, yeah, it's from 1 to 4, but again, we're hearing it loud and clear. So now I can't sit in my yard ever, and on the weekend, when I want to sit in my yard, I can't enjoy my yard at all. That's it. Like everybody's outside, that's when everybody comes outside, is in the summertime. And I can't enjoy my yard anymore? That's it? Like I gotta listen to that? That's not right. I'm sorry, that's not right. This is another grand opening celebration that seems to have a few. This is October 4th, an invitation to Bloom grand opening celebration, ribbon cutting, 10:30, yada, yada, yada. So this is an event. Thank you, Susan Prisco, Realtor.
What's the date?
Food. It's a party.
Now, for the record, am I correct that you have taken every one of these videos
No, these videos I got online.
from them?
Some are from them. This one is from Susan Fresco, Realtor. I had to do a little digging, you know,
I
on
think there's an
Instagram.
authentication issue with some of these videos, then in that case.
Yeah, I thought the testimony was that you took these so the video, for example, that someone was walking down the street.
That's me.
Okay.
A lot of them are me.
Okay, why don't we differentiate between,
It's important for the board to know which ones you took
Okay,
and which ones are from elsewhere.
okay.
so which ones are from elsewhere?
Well, this
This-
one is from elsewhere. This is from Susan Fresco, Realtor.
Okay, any others from Susan Presco?
I'm sorry?
Any others from Susan
Uh,
besides that one?
There was this one second.
While he's looking for these, Mr. Chairman, I'll take the position that they should be excluded from the record. We cannot authenticate if they actually were taken on those dates. We can authenticate they were not.
I can
doctored.
authenticate them right now if I
Excuse me.
pull up Instagram.
That's
No,
not
no, that's not, we understand, we understand,
Right on
we're,
Instagram, I'm
we're,
looking
we're,
for it.
just, excuse me. Don't argue with him. He's directing his comments to me. When I want you to speak about it, I'll ask you, okay? I understand your position that it's hard to authenticate something that's been posted somewhere. And I think the board can look at it, but has to realize that, they're not from this witness. They've been posted elsewhere, so they shouldn't have the same impact as something that he recorded live.
No, I think it's got limited evidentiary value at best.
Okay, I agree. It's got to be downgraded.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I do have one question for Mr. Bear that won't affect that philosophical position either way, but can you identify the video as being from South Street Garden?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
And it's hashtagged all over the place, South Street Gardens. And once again, I can pull her right up.
Okay, pulling it up on Instagram is not going to change anything about this argument, okay?
But
So,
but on the other hand, he doesn't have to have taken a picture if he can identify it.
right, he can identify where it's been taken. He can't identify whether anything's been altered on the video.
And he can't identify the date. I'll concede that, but he can identify.
Well,
South
if it's
Street
posted, yeah, he can't authenticate the date. All he can do is say, this is what's posted online.
This is one of Susan Fresco's. This is May 3rd, and you can see there's a live band right there. That's South Street Gardens.
Excuse me. So the court reporter cannot take down you and record the video at the same time.
Okay, got it.
So if you want to speak about anything, you have to pause the video.
Okay.
And you just said there's a live band, you can see it?
Yeah.
That's what you just said?
Yeah.
Okay, so this recording you did?
No.
The one up?
No, that was not him.
Okay, that was not you.
That's Susan Fresco, but it's
Okay.
on, it's a live band, and you can see that it was right there.
Okay. Were you present at home that day?
Yes,
Okay. So you could hear this band also?
Yes.
Okay.
I did hear it, yes, I did.
All right. You can continue.
But when you continue, can we just stick to what you did, Mr. Rosenberg? I don't think we should give any credence to what he might have pulled off of Instagram. We don't know what was altered, who used the filter, something he took, he can testify to as to how he did it and when he did it.
And I think in any event, we've made our point, okay? I mean,
Okay.
how many more do you have left? Just like, before, don't show anything, just how many more do you have?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
How many hours?
Is this yours?
This is mine, these are all mine.
Oh, well, why-
Well,
but anything that's
The
yours,
next one coming up, is it yours?
anything that's yours, feel free to show me.
Okay, so just give me a minute, I'm working.
And anything off of these.
Okay, so again, this is the lineup that we were going through. These are just different events. I can go through them quickly. October 4th. This was the other event, Susan Fresco. We went through that one already. This is again from the South Street Gardens website. This is a picture of their courtyard. Okay, and the reason why I'm using this as an example is because I want to show you that these buildings specifically, okay, are creating an echo chamber. That echo chamber is aimed directly going right up Prospect Place, and that noise is going directly up toward us. Now, if you zoom in just a little bit further, do you see that speaker right there? That speaker, okay, which they have throughout, I zoomed in a little bit more for you. Those speakers are loud. Those are big speakers, they're loud, they produce a considerable amount of noise within that echo chamber.
And where are they pointed?
They're pointed right toward the center, which goes out toward Prospect Place. As of March 19th, 2025, well before they were ever approved for events, they were already promoting events. They've been having events, all kinds of events. This is November 12th, December 5th. This is Learn Faux Calligraphy. Wellness. This is all from their own website. This is all from their own Instagram. Okay. Yoga, December 10th. December 12th. Holiday bow making. December 14th. I was under the impression they were not allowed to have gatherings at all. Ho, 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 charcuterie. Festive fringes, December 16th. December 17th, more yoga with a band. Japanese New Year wreath making, December 20th at 11 a.m. And then we go back to August 17th. August 17th is when me and my neighbor, John Weisgerber, took a walk behind our properties, behind Whitney Avenue, because we were trying to understand what they were doing behind our properties. We kept seeing tractors going behind our properties. Okay, we kept seeing them pushing. We have a wet issue. We have a lot of water that runs behind our properties. We've had water issues for a very long time. I said at the last meeting that I've spent close to $100,000 mitigating water and drainage because of that. They have been piling all kinds of, I'll just go through it, all of their garbage. This is August 17th. They've been taking it from their property and just piling it all over the place into the wetlands. This is all garbage that they've just been piling and piling and piling right into the wetlands, one after the next. We were not on their property. No, we did not trespass Cali, okay? We were well beyond Whitney Avenue, okay? And this is all garbage that has just been piled and piled. Now we're at November 16th. We did another walk, okay? Again, past the Whitney Avenue right away. More garbage being piled. Piles of dirt. More logs. Dead trees. Tires. Old tires. Logs. More logs. If you look there on the right-hand side of the screen, those are all logs. That's November 16th. And now we get to March's vet.
Well, not quite.
Okay.
Eric.
Yeah.
Because I have no further questions for you, but now the board and Mr. Kelly get to ask you questions.
Okay.
Mr. Cali, questions?
A few, very limited. Mr. Vieira, are you certain that the video footage you have from October of 2025 was illicit tree removal and not efforts with equipment to plant equipment and trees and shrubs in the field? Are you certain?
Am I 100% sure, certain? No, I'm not, but I can tell you one thing for sure.
That's fine, that's fine.
I can tell you that for the
Mr.
past
Vieira, that's
11
fine.
years, I never saw lights, and now I can see Atlantic Health as clear as the night. It is so clear, I see all kinds of light in my backyard, and I never saw that before, ever, in 11 years. And now I see it bright,
Mr.
bright,
Vieira,
bright.
You answered my question. I'm going to try to be very simple and keep
Okay,
it
no
efficient because that was quite long. To lighting, you said that it was really lit up. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was lit. Are you certain that that's my client's light on my client's property?
100% sure, because
You
I
should-
walk my dogs at different times, and yes.
You should review the site plans. That's a municipal light.
No, it's all over their property. They have lighting all over the place.
The light that you displayed to the board in Exhibit 08 is a municipal light. You can review the site plans. I know you've got a copy of that.
That's
Are you aware of, okay, are you aware of any violations that have issued against my client, have been logged against my client, whether successfully or unsuccessfully? Has there been municipal action to enforce anything relative to any of the noise complaints that you're alleging between, September and?
That's irrelevant. I think, why, if somebody didn't make a formal complaint, does that mean it's not, it doesn't exist?
No, it doesn't. But he's alleging that there's been unlawful activity on the site predating any approval of this board. I think that's relevant to an extent, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and,
He's either aware or he's not.
okay, you can ask the
I'm
question.
aware that
That's all.
on September 13th that I went to the police and we filed a report because they were making all kinds of noise, yes.
I understand the report was filed against you as well. So
Yes,
I-
correct. They
right.
filed a report because I was recording on a street, public street, Pear Street, and they said that I was trespassing, which I was not trespassing.
My next question is,
I
have
was
you,
on a public
so
street.
you're under oath right now.
Correct,
My client has closed circuit cameras on their property.
correct.
Have you ever trespassed?
No, I have
on my-
not.
You've never trespassed on my
Never.
client's property?
Never. You can check
Okay.
my phone, you can check all the
Just
pictures.
one, let's back up again. Have they ever told them to stay off the property?
Well, yes, but there was also trespassing on the property during non-operating hours, which by definition is a trespass.
Okay, Pear
There was
Street's a
no-
public street, so you have to.
No, no.
As long as you stayed on public.
No, I'm talking about footage of peering in windows during non-operating hours.
Appearing in windows? That's a lie.
Okay. At any rate,
That's a
Mr.
lie.
We've got
Okay.
we've got it on the record. He's
That's
sworn
a
in.
lie.
This is beyond this form at this
That's a
point.
lie. You can take
Yes.
my phone, which has
Okay,
GPS on
stop.
every photo. That's
May
a lie.
I say that
So,
if the
stop.
applicant, if the applicant contends it has closed circuit TV, let it show it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let's quit talking about it.
Oh, well, let's get back to the
I'm
application.
discussing
Let's
here.
get back to the application as opposed to all the collateral issues.
Okay.
We're not a municipal court.
What was the last date you recall any event occurring out there with noise? From your own, not from Instagram or Susan or
Well,
whoever.
I don't know. We've had the worst winter, ever possible.
That wasn't my
So it's been
question,
very
sir.
quiet. So,
Yeah,
no, it's been-
Just answer the question.
The last one that sometime in October.
Okay.
But it's getting warmer quick.
Because the reason I'm asking is because on one of your segments, you overlaid your own audio saying,
I did not
This-
overlay audio.
well, there was audio saying this is 7 nights a week until 10 p.m.
Correct.
That was you speaking, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
You overlaid audio.
That was September 13th.
My point is, you
That
made a
was
statement saying,
September 13th, and that was them having a party.
have you
Correct.
observed, you said on that video, this is 7 nights a week at South Street Gardens
Because
until
this
10.
is the new, because that's the plan. For 7 nights a week, that was what they wanted to do. Have 7 nights a week, that was their goal. 7 nights a week until 10 p.m., that was the proposition that they were proposing.
Yeah, that wasn't,
7
that
nights
wasn't,
a week with alcohol catered by 1776. Yes.
I heard you. I appreciate
I got it too. I heard you too, Callie.
It's, you call me Mr. Callie or Larry. Callie's.
Callie's-
Don't argue back and
Go on.
forth on little trivial stuff. Let's stick to the facts in
Okay.
the application, so we'll get done sometime in the
Mr.
next
Vieira.
month.
Yeah.
Just to reconfirm for the record, several of those videos you tried to include into the record were not taken by you. You have no firsthand knowledge of them at all, but for scooping them up off of someone's social media. Is that correct? Yes or no, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all we have, Mr. Chairman, for Mr. Vieira. Thank you, sir.
Okay, members of the board, any questions? Yes.
Okay, so as far as I know, the town regulations regarding noise list specific decibel levels. Now, I'm not a sound engineer, but I know that how loud something seems is a function of distance. And what the regulations are is specific sound levels at your property. Walking around on Pear Street, the levels, which we haven't heard a single sound level. Do you have any sound levels?
I do not have sound levels now.
Okay.
But can I say one thing?
I think you've said a lot, but go ahead.
I've lived there for 11 years. There have been countless parties, all kinds of parties, graduation parties, bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs, weddings in people's backyards. Never, ever, ever has it even come close to the level of noise that I have heard from the events that have transpired from that property. Never, not even a little bit close. And that, let God strike me dead if I'm lying right now, okay? That's the God honest truth.
But is there I'm not going to do it back and forth. I'm not going to do it
No,
back and
no,
forth.
he's asking questions.
I'm not going to do it back and forth here. I'm just going to state. Maybe it is. I'll accept what you said. It's the loudest of any any noises that you've heard. But that still is not something that we can actually take action on.
Well, they both have, both the objectors and the applicants have acoustical engineers yet to testify, so I think you can get into that a little later.
But I mean, I think.
Also, there's a question of, does that apply in this type of situation where you have a commercial property in a residential zone? Because we can set the standard as to what should be down the street, or heard down the street, as opposed to like what the official ordinance is, because of this type of application. Do you agree or not, Mr. Kelly?
I think the board does have the right to impose mitigating conditions in the context of variance relief grant, but the state regulations of Title VII are quite clear as to acoustic decibel level drop off, measured at property line and 21 feet. So conformance is conformance.
Right.
So just because it might be an entity making noise, doesn't mean that Mike can't make the same level of noise or vice versa.
The issue is that if you have and I don't want to start, if you have a residential neighborhood, the people down the street have like 2 parties a year outside. The guy up the street has a party, once every 6 months. It's not an entity trying to recruit parties and trying to fill their ticket. So it's one party, 2 parties that make noise, people don't get upset about. But when it's 7 days a week, there can be a different.
Yeah, again, Mr. Chairman, I agree that the board can impose mitigating conditions, which they think has a connecting nexus to the relief sought to mitigate the impacts of the relief that's sought. And if it's in the context of noise, that is certainly a fair game issue.
Okay, thank you.
I do want to say something, if I may, which is it's not just a matter of mitigating the issue. I mean, this board is going to have to determine whether to grant the variance.
I understand that.
And that includes the negative criteria, which is to what extent is this.
Okay, we understand that. We understand what our role is. Okay. Any other board members with questions?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Goldberg.
Mr. Vieira, correct?
Yes.
On the 817 video where you showed all the debris and the landscaping debris and the garbage and stuff in the back and claimed that it was on wetlands.
Yes.
Is that debris all still there today? When's the last time you've seen it there? Have you seen it there that been removed? Is it still there as far as you know?
I have not walked back there since, no, because they said that I was trespassing. They've called the cops on me twice at this point and brought the same 2 clowns to my home, okay, for trespassing. The same 2 people they've called and said that I was trespassing, which I was not trespassing on their property, okay? And literally all my neighbors come out, and in 11 years that I'm living there, okay, I'm being harassed. 11 years that I'm living there, I've never had a problem with any of my neighbors. And now all of a sudden, everybody thinks I'm a drug dealer because these guys, okay, are sending cops to my home for trespassing when I've never trespassed. And again, you can
Don't refer to the police as clowns, please.
I'm sorry?
Don't refer to the police as clowns for coming to your house.
Well, no, they're the same 2 people that keep coming to my house.
Same 2 people or 2 police officers?
The same 2 police officers.
Then call them police officers.
Thank you. And when you refer to them as wetlands, I mean, do you have, I mean, and I guess we could get that data, but are they actually designated wetlands?
Yes.
That your assertion is that debris and landscaping debris and material and junk was never there before, but now it's there? Okay,
Correct.
great. On one of your videos, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the one where you were trying to demonstrate the tree removal. There was a little tagline on the slide that said, hiding all the evidence in plain sight. Could we see that video? Is it okay for the board to see that video again? Because I'd like to, see what those look like, sort of bare-skinned, long tree trunks that were, it was hard for me to tell what I was looking at there in terms of tree debris, or if you were claiming that those trees were taken down on their removed from their property, or maybe they were transported there, or.
No, this is just a.
There's two videos, there's this one and the one after it.
Excuse me, can you stop for a second? What building was that it just went by?
This is my house, and I just walked across John Weisgerber's home.
Okay,
So you're approaching the property line?
you're approaching the property.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
This is my property that I'm on right now. This is my driveway.
Okay.
And now the next one.
Okay, Lee, you see enough?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So so the timing of this is, assuming we had a board meeting on that Monday night, we're told no trees were removed. So you're saying within 36 hours, this was the activity
100%.
that was happening. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions from board members?
On those videos, you're certain that those were trees that were cut down on the property
Yes.
and then removed, being put into the waste bin? So they were logs, which means they had to have been cut, trimmed.
Back to this video. Right. See, it's this one with Michael and James Coons. If you look behind, do you see all those logs? Those are big logs. They're big trees. Those are tall, long trees right there. Those are not little trees.
No, but someone had to have cut off the top and the bottom and so that was all done there on their property.
Yes.
That was all done.
on their-
And you're aware that was their property and not the wetlands in the back, or?
No, that was their property.
Transported from another property like there for reasons of landscaping business? I don't know. So I guess we can ask your,
We might recall one of the Bruins
Okay,
after
thank-
to all of this
okay, thank you.
stuff. Yes, sir.
Okay, any other members?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You did say that it was 7 nights till 10 o'clock. Is that what was going on, or someone was suggesting they wanted to do
That's
it?
what I was told at that time was the proposition that they were going for.
Okay, so you didn't, you haven't observed 7 nights
No, I have not.
until 10.
But I was under the
Do-
impression that that was the goal.
And then do you hear, you mentioned that you hear blowers all the time.
Yeah, not now when it's winter with the snow everywhere, but the second that it gets warmer, yes, they start very early in the morning, usually by 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's more than one blower. There's usually 5, 6 blowers going at the same time.
Right.
Because they want to make everything really pretty. It's a 2.5 acre property and they're trying to make the whole thing look nice and pretty. So there's leaves. We're in the middle of the woods. It's residential. So they're blowing it all. They're blowing everything off their property to make it nice and clean, to make the courtyard nice and clean. So yeah, and they have all their employees going with the blowers, their gas blowers, and they're making a substantial amount of noise. So you can't sleep in anymore, and they're open 7 days a week, so it's even on Sunday.
And how about the machinery? Is that common, or is that just for these lots?
No, it's common.
Do you know
it's
what the
common.
machinery is usually doing?
I don't know. It's going back and forth. They also, now that they do snow removal, they have all their snow removal trucks there going back and forth all day long. While snow removal trucks parked there constantly because they have a snow removal company. So they have snow removal trucks going back and forth all day long now.
So you're saying, to your knowledge, they're removing snow from private clients elsewhere?
Correct, and parking them back there. 100%.
Do you often see dump trucks in and out?
Dump trucks?
I mean, there was a dump truck in
Here and there, yes, definitely. And they put that big, they have a big container back there now. I don't know what's in that container, but it's a massive container. They plugged in there back there with some light on it, one big shining light shining away from it.
And in terms of outdoor parties with the speakers, the ones you showed, are they all somebody else's or some of them yours? Have you observed the outdoor parties
Oh, yes.
and heard the music? I understand what you're saying with 2 buildings could make a channel.
It's a full-blown,
Yeah.
it's an echo chamber. Those 2 buildings, the way they're laid out, the way they designed that structure, it's almost like they were like, okay, you know what? If we built it like this, those people on South Street aren't going to hear it that much. This is the path of least resistance.
Well, I don't want to get into the reason the speakers are where they are. I'm just wondering if you've actually seen some of the parties and heard the noise, seeing the parties, or was that mostly, have you seen a lot of parties or just some and then other ones just showing from websites?
I've seen a substantial amount of parties, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
I think that's all I have.
Okay, any other board members with questions? Any members of the public with questions of this witness?
Yes.
Okay, turn on the microphone. You're not represented by anyone, are you? Okay.
Just your name, please.
My name is Linda DiTrolio. I live at 479 Jockey Hollow Road. About 7 years ago, we moved to Morristown, and I have a little house in the middle of 3.5 acres of woods. I am also an employee of South Street Gardens. I do a lot of creative.
So Larry, you represent the company that this woman works for. I'm going to rely on you to cross-examine this witness. I don't think it's appropriate to have this lady whose company is represented by an attorney ask individual questions.
Yeah, I mean, she may be speaking as a resident. She's not speaking in her capacity as an employee.
Do you live in Morris Township?
I do, 479 Jockey Hollow Road.
Okay. All right, fine. Yeah, as a resident, not as an employee asking questions. Go ahead.
When we moved into our house, it sat empty for 5 years. We immediately took down 40 ash trees. Over the course of 7 years, we took down another 35, total about 80 trees came down.
So is that a question you have? Right now, we're doing questions of this witness on what he presented.
The trees that you saw on your video came from my house. My husband
Okay,
and
so there'll be a time when Mr. Callie can bring you up as a witness
I, okay,
to explain that. This is not the time,
okay,
okay?
that's fine.
Thank you.
Am I done?
Yeah, you can ask questions, but yeah,
That's
no
it.
testimony right now.
That's where the trees came.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Any other members of the public with questions of this witness, not statements about the witness's testimony? Seeing none, hearing none, close the public portion. All right. The next witness.
So Larry, before we move to the next witness, I just want to raise a couple of thoughts as we're, in the next 20 minutes, we'll probably take a break and something you guys can think about in terms of conditions, right? One might be, and the board has to consider this as well, of course, but one might be only the use of electric blowers on the property, right, as a means of trying to keep the noise down. And the other would be no amplified music outdoors, right? Not an answer right now, but something for you guys to talk about and consider. Okay. Okay. Next witness.
We're going to continue with Mr. Beth, and again,
Swear me in again.
you swear him
Yep.
or?
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give to this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And your name for the record, please?
Mark Chisvette, spelled Chisvette.
And I
Thank
would remind the board that Mr. Chisvette is a professional engineer. And I asked the chair for some direction. Do I very quickly go over what we already did because it's been so many months, or do I just?
You can summarize it very quickly.
All right. Mr. Chisvette, could you please, using your, I believe it was C1, C2, and C3, very quickly for the board, just summarize what you've already testified to in that regard?
Yes, my testimony related to the fact that, my opinion that the proposed project does increase the amount of impervious area on the site more than a quarter of an acre, and therefore should be considered a major development under the stormwater ordinance. And so I presented some exhibits. One was basically the C1, which is, I'm not sure what's on your screen. Yes, so C1 is basically the applicant's proposed plan, and that shows the amount of impervious area that's.
Mr. Westerberg has a whole bunch of sets of copies which you can hand out to make it easy for the.
Did we mark this before? We must have, right?
I believe so. I believe C1, 2, and 3 were already marked.
Our engineer can still see this.
I hope so.
Okay. I'm not saying no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, while this is being passed on, I just want to confirm that we're going to get you new testimony because we heard the challenge of major development at the last meeting. I'm just thinking about efficiency of the process.
Right, I understand. Well, that's why it's a summary. A very
So
quick summary.
previously, just for the record, we marked C1, C2, C3 as Exhibit 06. All right, so these are the same, correct?
They're the same.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we covered that last time. And when your testimony ended, am I correct that the board engineer and you were having a discussion about what data the board could use to determine whether this was a major development? Am I correct about that?
That's correct.
And since then, did you look at some data?
Yes, well, the board's engineer had asked me, because the way the ordinance reads, it refers to the increase in impervious area over a period of time starting from 2004, because that's when the stormwater ordinance took effect. So basically, it's written that way so that you can't phase a project in 1/8 of an acre at a time and say, oh, I don't have a major development. It's once it tallies up to 1/4 of an acre, it's a major development, regardless of how it's incremented. So I was tasked with presenting some kind of documentation to show what existed in 2004. So I did some research on that, and unfortunately, I couldn't find a 2004 aerial photo, but I did find aerial photos from 2002 and 2006, which are basically showing that the property hasn't really changed during that 4-year period. So my exhibits that you now see I've added C4, C5, and C6.
Could you explain those? Because this is not summary, this is new testimony. So could you please specify?
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but, so before I said we marked Cs 1, 2, and 3 as 06, but this, what you've just handed out, encompasses more than that, so I think I'm probably better off, let's just mark this as the next exhibit number, right, 08. All right, so this package that you just handed out will be the next exhibit number, and do you agree? I'm up to 08.
I think 08 was that video deck.
Oh, yeah, the video was 8, right, so now we're 9. Right, so this would be 09.
And is this cover letter? from
Yeah,
before,
so,
new?
like, just for the record, right, so we have 09 is going to consist of this package you just handed out of a Morris County Soil Conservation District letter dated November 10, 2025. Sheets C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6. Then we have a sheet with about 14 photographs and looks like one larger photo of a portion of the plan. Oh, I'm sorry, it says map of confirmed disturbance and filling of wetlands and buffers. Is that OEX number? Yeah, it has an OEX 001, then we have OEX 00.2, OEXZ 003, and OEXZ 004. So all of that will comprise Exhibit 09.
And let me know, Mr. Oler, that part of that exhibit, as you noted from the Morris County Soil Conservation District, you'll note that the letter is addressed to me. Because again, after that hearing in October, I did an Oprah request. I told the board I was going to do one. And I did one, and I circulated that, the Oprah request responses to the board and to Mr. Calley. There's no surprise on them. So that letter and the next following page listed request for letter of non-regulation come from the Oprah request that I made following the last hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So getting back to this new exhibit, it includes several exhibits, this new document. C4 is a 2002 aerial photo taken off the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection's GeoWeb website. It's what they call an infrared photo. So that's why you see a lot of the areas that are reddish. So the green renders red in an infrared image, just so that you can see it as a comparison on sheet C5. It is also a 2002 aerial photo from the same DEP website, but it's a natural color. Now these are basically the same two photos taken at the same time for DEP or under DEP guidance, and they show the same thing. But you can see in the C4 version, because the infrared penetrates through some of the tree cover, that there are some vehicles parked in a driveway coming in from the south side of the site that you can't quite see through the tree cover in the non infrared photo, in the true color photo. So I presented them both.
And before you go on to the next one, what is your point of presenting these mirror image photos to the board?
Well, since the infrared shows a little bit more detail at the ground, I did an area takeoff as to the amount of impervious area in that image, and I used the infrared one to be a little more conservative when I say conservative, actually siding more with the applicant's point of view, because it showed a little bit more use on the ground, and so the impervious area as it existed then is a little higher and not quite as visible on the second photo.
And what impervious area does it show?
Well, it shows a pre-existing impervious area of 32,600 square feet in that photo, and comparing that to the 51,080 square feet that is shown on the site plan, that shows a net increase compared for what the applicant is proposing on their on their plans compared to what was there in 2002, an increase of 18,480 square feet, which is 0.42 acres.
Okay, but that's from 2002, right? We want to focus on 2004, is what
Right,
you're saying,
and
correct?
and since I don't have a photo from 2004, my exhibit C6 is 2006 photo. And you can see from the two photos comparing 2006, that's the C6 and the C5 images, they're basically the same. So my contention is nothing really much changed between 2002 and 2006, except maybe positioning of some of the vehicles that were parked on the site. So my conclusion from that is we can infer that 2004 was more or less consistent with what existed in these photos in 2002 and 2006. It would be difficult to assume, in my opinion, it would be a reach to assume that in 2004 there suddenly was a lot more impervious that disappeared again 2 years later.
Okay, what else do you have to show the board?
Well, I just wanted to point that out, but I wanted to mention, and I mentioned in my first testimony when I was here last time in October, that I'm doing all these calculations for impervious increases based on the plans that are formally before the board for approval. But what is on the site is even more extensive than what is proposed in the plans. And that is shown, and just as a recap, sheet C3 was based on an aerial photograph taken by drone by a company out of East Hanover called Visionaire X, and that was from August of 2025. And that image shows that there's even more disturbance and more impervious areas on the site in August than was proposed on the plans that are before the board. So what is actually existing is greater than what has been proposed. And when I say existing, I mean existing now today if you walk out there. I will reiterate that the way the ordinance reads, stormwater management is based on the most conservative condition, or the way it's worded in the ordinance, the condition over the last 5 years continuously. And if it hasn't been the same condition over the last 5 years, you are to take that condition that existed during any time of that 5-year period that has the least amount of runoff potential, and that's what's to be considered as, quote, existing, unquote, when you're doing an analysis for stormwater management.
Mr. Tusvet, before we go on, let's look at this a different way. I mean, of course, we're very interested in what's technically to be done and what's technically not to be done. But what's the practical impact of a site undergoing a major development but not doing the necessary stormwater management?
There will be an increase in runoff off of the site onto the neighboring properties or into adjacent waterways. And we also have evidence that we presented last time we were here that there is often, when it rains heavily, those water courses that are adjacent to the site back up into the residential properties that are nearby. And if there's excessive runoff from the subject property going into that water course that's already backing up, it will exacerbate the situation and cause it to back up further with higher levels of ponding than exist before the proposed development would take place. It's a municipal ordinance that it's required that if you have a major development, you have to have mitigation. You have to do some sort of stormwater management to either reduce the volume or reduce the peak flows or reduce a combination of both so that your proposed project has less of an impact than existing condition.
Have you reviewed the application that's before the board?
Yes, I have.
And does that application include any stormwater mitigation?
No, it does not. The applicant contends that they are exempt from the stormwater because they are not a major development.
Let's proceed. What else do you have for the board?
Well, I want to switch to a drawing that's called, it's 3 pages beyond C6. It is called OEXZ-00.3. And this relates to your Oprah request with the Soil Conservation District, because according to the response on the Oprah request, the applicant had apparently submitted some documentation stating that they were only going to disturb a total of an amount of 1,188 square feet.
Can you, for the board's assistance, can you let them know what we're looking at?
Yes, we're looking at a response to your Oprah request from the Morris County Soil Conservation District that's dated 8/08/2024.
It's the request for letter of non-regulation.
That's correct.
And it says a lot of handwriting on it. So if we go down the left-hand side, about 2/3, 3/4 of the way down the page, it says area of disturbance. Is that what you're looking at?
That's correct.
All right, and what number does it show, area of disturbance?
1,188 square feet.
And is that something that would be filled in by the applicant or by the Soil Conservation District?
Generally, it's filled in by the applicant.
So if this form was filled in a normal way, it is the applicant representing to the Soil Conservation District, it's going to be disturbing 1,188 square feet.
That's correct.
All right, is there anything that you have seen, anything, that matches to a soil disturbance as small as 1,188 square feet?
In my opinion, the disturbance is in the order of half an acre.
Which is roughly 20,000.
Yes. It's well over 5,000 square feet, and the 5,000 square feet threshold is when you need to have your soil erosion plan certified by the Morris County Soil Conservation District. And this exhibit I was just referring to shows aerial photographs from 2022 compared to a drone photograph from November 30th, 2025, and once again, also by Visionaire X out of East Hanover. And in the image to the left of that page.
And that's on the Z003.
Yes, that's Z00.3. And the image to the left of that page, at the low, towards the center bottom, you can see building next to the word Pear Street, and just below that, which in this photo, both of these images, north is to the right, so it would be to the east of that building. You can see a large green area, lawn area with a couple of trees, and then in the image to the right, you can see.
When is the image to the right?
The image to the right being from November 30th of last year. You can see that same area has gravel and some pathways and a number of trees that are on display. And that area alone is about 12,500 square feet. That doesn't even include some of the disturbance that's shown in the drone image at the northerly end, or the top of the page, which is actually the westerly end of the property near Whitley Avenue, which is a paper street. And that's additional disturbance that's shown on this image that compared to what was there in 2022.
Can you describe that additional disturbance?
It looks like, it's hard to tell exactly what those, it looks like either construction equipment or debris. It's hard to tell from this area, but there's also a large gravel area that's not in the image to the left.
And is the large gravel area, is that immediately to the west of the buildings? Is that what you're talking about?
That's what correct.
Where there seems to be about,
almost opposite Prospect Place.
okay, where there seem to be about like 7 or 8 cars parked.
That's correct.
All right, that's not on the prior picture.
That is not. And that's additional disturbance as well that took place at some time between 2022 and 2025.
All right, what else do you have to show the board?
The next sheet is just more of aerial images from 2024 and 2025. Some are from Google Earth and some are from the same drone photography company, Visionaire X.
By the way,
shows the progression of development on the
for the
property.
benefit of the board, are you as an engineer allowed to rely on Google Earth pictures?
I rely on it often. It's images that are taken on an angle are difficult to measure areas off of, but you can certainly rely on the images to show what existed on the property at that time, because they are dated.
All right. You have anything else?
No, I just wanted to show that you wanted to state that you can see the images on the left, which are approximately a year older than the images on the right, and you can see the differences on the site and the changes that have taken place on that site over that year.
Does that complete your testimony regarding your exhibits?
Yes.
And let me just ask you what I think might be just one final question. It's like in a way, a wrap-up question, which is, based on the testimony that you have provided, is the failure to provide a stormwater management system a negative to the neighborhood?
Absolutely, especially since they already experienced ponding at this time. It'll make it worse.
I have nothing further.
Okay. Mr. Cali?
We're gonna have a recall of our civil engineer that's gonna irrefutably dispute the fact that we're not a major development, so we're comfortable with resting now that Mrs. Vets continue to write testimony.
Okay. Board members, any questions?
Good question.
Yes.
In slide C5, is the impervious area in this slide only where these buildings are, or does it extend, looks like grassy areas to either side of the buildings in those dotted lines? I'm trying to
The
see.
dashed blue line is the property limits.
Property limits,
The
okay.
lighter blue line is the impervious area from the proposed plan that's superimposed upon the aerial image.
Okay, so do you have marked on here the impervious area as of 2002? Are we able to discern?
Not in this image. I did that in the previous image, which is the infrared version of this. And I tabulate the difference between the two.
All right,
in the lower left.
So on C4?
Yes, on C4. C5 was mostly there to demonstrate that I wanted a true color version of C4 because of the fact that it's infrared. It's difficult to understand if you're not used to looking at infrared photos what the different colorations mean, and to show that this pinkish color is magenta is what it is. The magenta color is actually green, true green, but because of infrared it renders
So let's go
differently.
back to C4 and answer the question of what impervious coverage is shown on C4.
The 32,600 square feet.
The 32, exactly.
But where on, is there a line that shows the 32,000 square feet?
It's a little hard to see. It's a light green, and it kind of overlaps in some places. The blue is the proposed,
Green.
and the green is, if you look to the left, just where it says block 7307, lot 1, there's a little tag there that says 2002 impervious area 32,
Yes.
that pointing to green lines, which you can follow around
Okay.
the building and the parking areas.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. On OEX 00.1, right after C6, those photographs, two things. First, that they seem almost identical to the photographs I think that Mr. Vieira was showing earlier. So those are taken by him, or were those taken by you, or?
They were not taken by me. I believe Mr. Weisgerber took these photos.
Okay, so they're from Mr. Weisgerber, okay. And
Mr. Goldberg, what's the date of those photos? Because there's no date identified.
right.
Yeah, I remember these from last time.
Do they have a date? Do they pick on the people? This.
25, okay.
So go ahead.
That's a walk along the property line behind.
microphone and ID yourself if you're going to talk.
With the board's indulgence,
Yeah, just to
Mr.
answer that
Weisgerber's
question,
gonna
right?
Answer this question.
John Weisgerber, 20 Prospect Place.
You took the pictures?
I took these
And
pictures.
when did you take them? Because that's the question.
I'd have to look at
You said October,
it was October of 2025.
and you drew the arrows?
Yes.
And that's for exhibit OEX 00.2, 00.1, or both of them?
01.
01. And so you drew, so those arrows, I guess, for the,
Where the photos were taken.
where the photos were taken.
Like the first photo to the right is basically showing a pile of logs in the back of the property.
I get it. Yep. Okay. Thanks. I
And
guess
then
my question.
the next photo is actually the stake, which is the back corner of my property. So I
Right.
started the property line and walked south.
So for Mr. Schmidt, were those, that debris and those items there, were those, they're both pointing to the, in sort of, except for one or two of them, into the right of way for Whitney Ave.
Correct.
Were those used in your calculations for your square footage or your 5,000, your half acre or?
No, I didn't take any areas from this exhibit at all. I didn't even prepare this exhibit.
Okay, so when you were coming up with your calculations for disturbed area, they weren't, the right of way was not included.
Oh, no. The sheets C1 through C6 are the ones where I measured
Okay.
areas, and those are not taken from an angle. They're vertical images, and is able to correlate them to dimensions based on features on the
And in your
ground.
testimony, I think I heard you make reference to both a quarter of an acre and both a half an acre. Is there do those acreages trigger anything different in terms of it being a major development? I thought I had heard both of those references. I just want to make sure.
Well, the half acre is not anything that's specific in the ordinance. The half acre was an approximation, but the quarter acre is specifically stated in the ordinance. That's the threshold. Adding an acre of impervious, a quarter acre rather, of impervious area renders a project as a major development.
Mr. Goldberg, if it'll help you, it's the Land Development Code, Section 57-166.
Okay, thank you for just clarifying the numbers there.
Did you make any calculation based upon the aerial photographs that you secured as to what actually is the disturbed area?
The actual meaning, the current condition?
Yes.
Yeah, that's shown on C3.
So
That's based on the drone image.
Okay.
And going back to Mr. Goldberg's question, did you add a square foot that's outside the limit of the property?
No, all these areas are property line to property line. There's nothing outside the property line that's in any of these calculations.
So the constructed impervious area is now 70,000 square feet?
Yes.
Okay, and in 2020 aerial, it was 23.1? Is that correct?
Yes.
So there's
That's a
been an
2020
increase-
aerial, yes.
So there's been an increase of
51,080 square feet.
okay.
I'm
So
sorry.
so there's been an increase of 47,000.
Yes, you're right. Almost 47,000.
And what is that in acres, 47,000 square feet?
Well, an acre is 43,560, so it's a little about 1.1
So a little more than an
acres.
acre was developed?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, is there a distinction being made here between impervious and disturbed?
What does the ordinance say?
Well, the ordinance has two prongs. One is acre of disturbance, and the other one is adding a quarter acre of impervious area. So either one of them would consider it a major development.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just ask one follow-up question?
Sure.
So in that right-of-way area that's depicted on the photos, if there is in fact debris in there, based on the photos that are represented, could you just speak to the additional impact, or whether it's a detriment or to the stormwater runoff from that site? Or, I mean, I know it's not calculated in the disturbance, but
It's not calculated. I mean, I didn't take those photos, so I don't exactly know where exactly within the right of way that that debris is. But if it impacts gutter flow or blocks inlets, it certainly has detrimental impact on the drainage in the area, and so it would have impact on the area.
Thank you. Okay, any other board members with questions? Any members of the public with questions of this witness? Seeing none, hearing none, close the public portion. Where are we going from here? Other than taking
We're
it.
going to go to wetlands.
Okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute break and then we're gonna come back. Okay? 5-minute break. Like to recall to order the Board of Adjustment meeting for March 5th, 2026. Mr. Krupak, roll call, please.
I may have to resign.
Mr. Goldberg,
Here.
Mr. Trachtenberg,
Here.
Mr. Williams,
Here.
Ms. Simmons,
Here.
Mr. Benoit,
Here.
Mr. Kramer,
Here.
Mr. Woodford.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm sorry. Oh, and Mrs. Plara.
Okay. Where are we now?
We have a new witness. Who
Okay.
has not yet previously testified. Okay,
In
how
that
about
case,
that?
would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will give to this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And your full name, please?
Darren LaBrake, DERRON, capital BRAKE.
And let me advise the board, just as a heads up, that Mr. LeBrake is a wetlands specialist. He's here as an expert. I will qualify him, and then he will be giving some testimony.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. LeBrake, could you advise the board to begin with what your title is?
Sure, I'm a certified professional wetland scientist. The Society of Wetland Scientists in the early 1990s decided that they would start certifying the credentials of wetland scientists.
And what are your other credentials?
Oh, as a certified ecological designer, that's the American Ecological Engineering Society, and that is a certification that I'm competent at designing ecosystems and ecological components.
You have an education in ecology or biology?
Yes, yes, I have a bachelor's in biology with an ecology concentration.
Any graduate work?
Yeah, I took a couple of graduate courses at Villanova University, but children came along and it became impossible to continue that.
And when did you start your professional career?
In 1987.
And from 1987 through the present, which to me sounds like roughly 38 years, 39 years, have you been continuously employed in this profession?
Yes.
And during this time, have you conducted ecological risk evaluations?
Yes.
And have you done wetlands delineations?
Yes.
How many wetlands delineations would you estimate you have been involved in?
More than 10,000.
And have you personally reviewed the site that is the subject of this application?
Yes.
And have you reviewed wetlands maps concerning this application?
Yes.
And have you taken any other steps that would allow you to testify as a wetland scientist before this board? There might not be any more. I mean, I'm asking you.
No.
All right. And based on what you've done, on your experience and what you've looked at, do you believe you are competent to provide a testimony to this board regarding wetlands aspects of this development?
Yes. Yes, I do.
With that, Mr. Chair, I offer Mr. LeBrake as an expert to testify regarding wetlands aspects of this development.
Accepted. Mr. Kelly, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So, Mr. LeBrake, could you tell us then, all right, we've gone through who you are, and now could you let the board know more specifically what you have looked at in terms of being able to tell the board something useful about wetlands on the site or off the site.
Sure, sure. Move this over here.
Just 1 second. We've got on the board, what do we have up there?
Talk about those.
We're going to hand these out, and
But they're coming.
we're up to 010
Okay.
as a package.
And what he's handing out is what's on the screen?
Yes.
Screen by screen, yes.
Right, understood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Rosenbach, without getting into the specifics of each page, would you just have them identify what is now 010?
Sure,
For the
page by
record.
page. I'll be happy to do that. Could you please do what the board attorney has asked and just go through page by page and just very quickly describe what each page shows, because then we're going to go back over it.
Okay, so figure one.
And also where they're coming from.
Okay. Figure one is a 2020 aerial photograph with the GIS streams in blue and the green pattern or wetlands that.
I don't even need that much
okay.
detail.
All right.
I just want to know
Streets
what
and
I'm
wetlands
calling
on that one.
010,
All right.
okay?
How about a date and what it is?
Okay.
Okay, an aerial photo from a date. Second sheet.
Second sheet is an LOI that was prepared by Shore de Palma in 2006.
LOI meaning letter of
Letter of interpretation where New Jersey DEP verified the extent of wetlands on the property.
And what date was that?
That was the LOI was issued on December 20th, 2007.
Okay. Let's go to the third sheet and again, just basically say what it is.
Yeah, the third sheet
An aerial photo.
is an aerial photo. Again, I stayed consistent and used the 2020 aerial photograph. And this is what I observed out there. I walked down.
Yeah, you'll get to it.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, what I observed out there, all right.
Fourth sheet.
The fourth sheet is the site development plan where I've highlighted.
This is the applicant's plan.
The applicant's plan.
With your markup.
Yes,
All right, we'll get to it.
okay. Thank you for that. And then photographs. It's a photograph down, is it Whitley Avenue?
Whitney.
Whitney Avenue,
took
behind
this
the property. I took this photograph.
All right, and you took it because it has the pink
Yes,
marking.
yeah, and
All right, and we'll get to
okay,
it.
yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, do you have a date of this photograph? If it's not exact date, a rough date.
It was the date that I did the site visit, October 27th, 2025.
All right, and then I think you have one more sheet.
Yeah, it's just more photographs of the same,
Oh, two more.
another wetland flag, and then this is a photograph looking up the drainage channel.
All right, and you took all of the photographs
Same day.
on the same day?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, is that satisfactory, Mr.
Yes,
Owen?
thank you.
All right. Now, let's tell the board what these documents mean one by one.
Okay, so the first figure, and this is the first exercise that we undertake as wetland scientists in New Jersey, is you go to New Jersey DEP's website and you pull up the stream layer, which is the blue line on here, and the green is the mapped wetlands based on their, I believe it's 2020 aerial photograph interpretation. So that's what they have decided based on their aerial photograph interpretation where wetlands and streams are. And this is statewide.
Sorry, one thing. You actually have, if I may say, four different types of coloring. You have a streamline, and then you have this blue hatching outside it, and then you have a sort of solid light green, and then a hatched green outside it. Could you explain that to the board?
Yes. The blue line that comes down, the blue hatching outside of that is the 50-foot riparian zone. And the green hatching is the 50-foot wetland transition area. Inside of those two places, you're not allowed to disturb the soil or the vegetation without a permit from the state.
Okay, and I just want to make it real clear. This is not something that you've calculated, this is something you've taken off the DEP website?
Yes.
Okay, have you changed it? Aside from drawing the red lines showing the site, have you changed
No.
this map?
I put in, I added the buffers to it, and I can do that in GIS by just saying, give me a 50-foot offset.
All right, so let's be honest with the board.
Okay.
All right, so in other words, you calculated the 50 feet on each side. All right.
There's
And,
gonna be a yes, though. Doesn't work.
Oh, sorry, yes.
and is there any way in which it would be anything less than 50 feet?
No.
All right, and likewise for the wetlands area, you've calculated yourself 50 feet around the border?
Yes.
And is there any way, under any regs, that transition area would be less than 50 feet?
No.
All right.
No.
Then please continue.
Okay, and then
Now on your
this
second sheet.
is the second sheet. I have to put my glasses on. So this is a wetland delineation plan that was prepared by Shore De Palma in 2006. I put boxes around the dates in the lower left-hand corner. The LOI was issued on December 20th, 2007. And this is the property that is immediately behind the residence and the proposed development. That's in blue.
And we have Whitney Avenue running diagonally, let's say, above the subject property.
Yeah, and on this drawing, it identifies that the Whitley Avenue right-of-way is 56 feet wide. I highlighted this just because otherwise there's lines and numbers on it and it's hard to distinguish what's going on. So from this, I added the 50-foot transition area off of the wetlands on the Whitley Avenue parcel, or Whitley Avenue right-of-way. And so the important thing to understand about these is they are the wetlands on the property, so it stops at the property line. They may in fact extend past that, but they're not allowed to issue an LOI for anything outside of the property that you're asking the LOI for. When I can see there are areas on here where wetlands extend beyond what was delineated. I walked the property to the north along, or excuse me, not the property. I walked Whitley up north, and it's all wet behind all of those properties there. But that would not be reflected on this because that was not under the ownership of the people that requested the LOI. And let's see. Oh, I'm just checking my notes to make sure yeah, those are the points that I wanted to make from that one. So the next figure is what I observed when I went out to the site.
By the way, before you get to the picture itself, let me ask you, can someone with your training identify wetlands, or is it a very technical exercise that requires all sorts of measurements and tests and things like that?
It's based on soil, vegetation, and hydrology. So I have to be able to identify all the vegetation growing in there and say that it's wetland vegetation growing in there. I have to look at the soils and say those are hydric soils, which are wetland soils. And then I have to be able to identify wetland hydrology, you know, where water stands, where water flows, indications that the area stays saturated long enough to then support the vegetation and to develop the soils.
So if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is that with your training, if you're good at what you do, you can identify wetlands.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, whereas I would never be able to.
Probably not.
Okay. All right, I just wanted
to be honest.
Okay. All right, why don't you please continue?
Okay, so what I found out there was, we'll start with the blue line that comes down from the north side and makes a right-hand turn. Figure three, yes. The blue line that comes down from the north side and then turns to the east at a right angle. That used to continue, but where you see the green-brown solid area on this, that's all fill that was placed there. So it blocked that channel from continuing. And if you look back at figure one, it used to continue all the way across the rear of those properties. And I could see evidence of it standing on the right of way on the other side of where all that fill is placed.
So do you have any opinion as to what happens to the water that can no longer continue in that direction?
Oh, it displaces it. So wetlands are typically, especially in this case, are low-lying areas that pond water for an extended period after a storm event. And during the winter, when the groundwater table is high, it'll saturate all the way up to past the surface. By placing this area fill here, it's forced that the water that would have laid in there off into other areas, including neighboring properties, definitely.
In those neighboring properties, do they include Mr. Vieira's property and Mr. Weisgerber's property?
Yeah, it would block that water from coming down. So, so the blue line that goes along Pear, that is, the water in that is flowing from east to west, so from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. So the water coming down there now can't turn to the south and head down through the fill, so it backs up into toward the north in the backyards of the neighbors' properties.
Wait, so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just trying to get on the screen the sheet that you're talking about, because our
figure
engineer,
three.
remember, is kind of watching this on Zoom, so. Yeah.
One figure 3 here.
Figure 3.
That one.
No, that was the prior one.
That's the one we're talking about.
Mhm.
That's the correct one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
All
one.
right, so I'll tell you what then, why don't you, for the benefit of the engineer, actually go to the screen, go to another, and just use your finger to point what you were talking about the stream.
Go to the,
Compare figure 1 to this.
yeah, go to that screen because the other one.
Because that's the one that'll pick you up.
Okay, yeah, so this is
Yeah.
the one that he's saying. Okay, so this ditch that comes along here, the water flows from the east to the west. It would have, if we go back to figure 1, he already saw figure 1. That water would have continued over into this area and been able to access this wetland to dissipate the excess water. Now it goes down, it's blocked. It can't get around the corner and saturate and flood this area here. So it backs up into these yards.
Yeah, and if I may ask you to point one more thing, or I'll point. Am I correct that this is probably my finger? So you're saying the water is backing, I mean, it's literally up on the screen, I don't know if it's something like that, but it's probably down. But it's backing up along the rear of the houses on Prospect.
Yeah, and it's going to cause water to get backed up to the south also, because that stream channel is gone. It's been eliminated. And although DEP's website shows a meandering stream channel, this is a straight line excavated ditch that John Westover told me that they dug ditches and channels along the edges of the right-of-way back here. At some point, we did
Mosquito commission.
For the mosquito commission, came and did that to try and drain it.
It was not the applicant when you
No,
said they?
no.
Okay, let's be fair.
And then I could see from standing here that there's this is the term that we use commonly, is a finger of wetland. So there's wetland that comes up in this part of the property. I don't know how wide it is. I just sketched that on there from what I could see standing there. And then I did misspeak. This is the wetland pattern that's on here that goes to the property line. That's from the LOI. That's not from the DEP's website.
Which is why it stops at the property line.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because in real life, it might or might not stop, probably doesn't, but in the LOI, it stops.
Yes.
As usual. Okay, let's continue.
All right, and then the next figure,
Figure 4.
figure 4, is the applicant's drawing. There we go. Yes, that's the one. So on here, I'll point, because the color isn't the greatest on projected version. Oh, yeah, thank you. On this drawing, if I do this work all the time. This is a wetland line. They're W and numbered.
You're talking about the green line?
The green line, yes, the green line, that's a wetland. This is a wetland boundary up here,
The green vertical line is on
green vertical line. This green line over here
The one that
with the
looks
sharp angles.
part of a.
Yeah, like a
some
roof
geometric
line,
object.
yeah.
All right.
That's a wetland line. And then this is also a wetland line over here,
Now, pardon me though, when you say the wetland line,
delineated.
all right, I mean, is the wetlands above it or below it? Where's the wetland?
In this case, it's the wetlands are on this side. This case, the wetlands are on this side.
All right, so hold on.
But-
This means nothing on the record,
Okay.
the way you're saying.
All right, sorry.
All right, so for the green line that's at the
Mhm.
top of the picture,
Yes,
the wetlands are to the north.
to the north, yes.
All right, for the green line that's below the words Pear Street,
Mhm.
where it says Lot 1 tax map,
Yes,
all right, the wetlands are
to the south. Yes.
And then you have the vertical line that goes up Lot 3,
The wetlands there are to the east.
and then you have your final one right on Whitney Avenue.
On Whitney Avenue, that one, the wetlands are to the south.
Okay, thank you.
And then the red line, I took and scaled off of this the best that I could by measuring dimensions that were on this. This is approximately a 50-foot wetland transition area, the red line that goes off of each one of the green lines. And that's transition area into the upland next to the wetland.
So as before, you measured 50 feet, and your red lines are essentially parallel to the green lines that they match
To the best of my ability with the drawing. The other thing that I didn't have time to highlight, this is identified as a drainage ditch.
When you
on
say
their
this,
drawing.
could you just explain it?
It's, so on lot 3, tax map,
It's to the
Yeah.
west side of Lot 3.
yeah. Oh, no, to the west side of lot 3, near that wetland line that we talked about, is a drainage ditch. It's identified as a drainage ditch on there, and it comes down and turns along Whitley, and then there's a head wall, so it goes into a pipe. The green wetland delineation that's identified on the west side of the property, the southwest side of the property, that also has a ditch identified on there, a drainage ditch. And then the same thing on the north side of the property. The dash double dot line that goes along there is a ditch.
Do those drainage ditches have any significance to this board?
If they are connected to state water, to a stream, if they go to a stream, then they get a 50-foot buffer because it's part of the tributary system.
But you already have a 50-foot
Mhm.
buffer.
Well, that's on wetland, the wetland boundary that's put there, not necessarily on the channel. So this is wetland. There's, the other one's a riparian buffer.
But
Mhm.
I gather then, unless you tell me otherwise, you have not determined if those drainage dishes are connected to state water.
No, I have not. Mm-mm.
And just remind the board again, what can a landowner or developer do in the transition area?
Ordinary property maintenance. You can cut brush and mow the grass. That's it. Any other disturbance of soil or vegetation requires an approval from the state. Right. Now, these are the, sorry. These are the photographs. Oh. My date is wrong on my notes. These were taken on October 27th, 2025. And it's hard to see on this, so I'm going to point to the screen. This is looking, which way? So I'm facing, South on Whitley Avenue. Oh, thank you. Yeah, facing south on Whitley Avenue in the right of way. These are, I've been doing this for a really long time. These are wetland flags. On it, it has a number and a letter. So these were delineated out here, and it was noted on the plans that, I won't be able to read it with my glasses. If you look back at the applicant's plans in the lower left-hand side, it might be in the center. Wait a minute. But who actually put those wetland flags out there? Oh yeah, it's right there. It's straight below. It's highlighted in yellow.
On your exhibit?
Yes, on exhibit 4 or figure 4 by Kramer Ecological Services on March 17th, 2025.
And what is the significance of that flag?
That they've identified the limit of the wetlands.
Does that
And
mean,
that's-
does that mean it's a corner?
No, it can be a point along the line, but it means that to one side of the wetland flag is wetland and to the other side is not wetland. So in this case, to the right-hand side in the photograph is wetland and to the left-hand side is not wetland. And you can see, I'm standing in front of it, sorry about that. This is all soil that's placed. You can see it's filled up over the top of the stem of these trees. And unfortunately, it doesn't show up well on this one, but there's another flag, and I want to make sure I point to the right spot. Oh, it didn't. For some reason, it didn't print it. You can go back to that same one. In the background, somewhere, I think it was right about here. I had it circled it must not have printed the comments because I circled, there's another wetland flag right here. And if you draw a straight line between those 2 points, this is recent fill that's been placed out into the wetland.
And are you saying that even where it's not wetlands, it should be a transition area?
Correct.
And there should be no fill there?
Correct. No disturbance, no fill, no soil disturbance, yeah. So this area should not have been touched and neither should the other side of it without a permit from the state. And then this is, the next one is the reverse looking back where you can see again where there's logs and disturbance and soil placed to the left-hand side of the photograph. And over to the right-hand side, there's, piles of debris and soil in the transition area. Yeah, and then this one is the next photo, next to last, is just the debris and trash that's been thrown back into the transition area and past that flag that's on the tree into the wetland.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
you don't know who put the trash there?
Nope.
Okay. We just know it's there.
Yes.
Okay.
And last one.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Let's go back to that. In
Mhm.
order to put trash there,
Mhm.
do you have to pass through somebody's land?
Yeah, I think, you would not have been able to drive down north and south on Whitley Avenue. You would have had to come in Pear Street to place this. There's no other roadway to get in to do this. So, and there were no tire tracks, there were no ruts, there was no indication that anything had gone down the right of way.
All right.
And then the last photograph is of all the vegetation removed from that, what was labeled as a ditch on their drawing. But I know from my investigation work out there back on figure 3, that connects up with a mapped state open water.
It does.
Yeah, so those are connected to one another, therefore they get a transition area and they get a riparian buffer. If that was just simply a ditch that went nowhere, just a length of ditch, those, unless the drainage area to the ditch is greater than 50 acres, it's not regulated.
Do you have any further testimony further for the board?
No, I think that covers it.
Well, then let me ask you this. A lot of technical wetlands and DEP testimony here. What's the practical impact of this as far as the board is concerned?
Well, in my opinion, the activities that went on out there are a violation of New Jersey state law, of both the, what is it? It's NJAC 7:7A freshwater wetland rules and 713, which are the flood hazard area rules, and that is the riparian buffer.
You've already testified this would have an impact on properties, including properties on Prospect Street.
Yes.
Place. Okay. I have no further questions.
So your real point is that if what you just said were verified through the DEP, that they could not build the plan that they presented, is that correct?
Not without a permit. They would have to apply for a permit.
Right. And in your
on-
opinion, could they obtain that permit?
Unlikely. So again, I've done hundreds of permits. You typically only get a transition area waiver that allows you to go in and disturb soils and vegetation is if you need to do an activity on the other side or into the wetland. To just get one simply for disturbing a transition area, every time I've asked, the answer is no.
Well, could they transition the buffer areas, the transition area?
You can, it's buffer averaging.
Yeah.
You can reduce it by 50%.
Right.
You can't make it 0. You can reduce it by 50%, but then on your same property, you have to put that 25 feet somewhere else.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're getting close to 10. I'd really like the board engineer to weigh in a little bit before we conclude tonight. But I just want to point out to the board that as interesting as all of this is to us, like if there's an approval by this board, it would be conditioned upon all required DEP permits and approvals, right? So like if this board said, yes, we grant this and, assume there's 100 conditions, one of them's going to be you applicant need to go to the DEP and obtain appropriate permits for your plan, all right?
Yes.
And they couldn't build this plan without those permits. Is that your understanding?
Yes, that's my understanding. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I just want to point out to the board that this board doesn't have any jurisdiction over any wetlands related issues, right? We just approve the plan subject to other agency approvals such as the DEP, right?
Understood.
And I'll also point out to the board that if the board approved this plan subject to that, and though that permit could not be obtained by the DEP, and the applicant was forced to change the plan, the applicant would have to come back to this board to make whatever modifications were required. That's your understanding too?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. It was very informative.
Any questions?
Very limited, primarily no, because of what Mr. Rowland just said, that the vested jurisdiction is beyond the purview of this board, it's with the
Right.
state agency. But just because of the optics of some of the images, which aren't, terribly pretty, a couple. Sir, are you aware of the date range when the applicant acquired and took ownership and control of this property?
No.
You also, I think, indicated in your testimony that you are not aware as to when your assessment and opinion as to the fill in the wetlands area and the waste in the wetlands area was undertaken. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Can I add one point to that?
You answered my question.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'll ask the question. Is there anything that could give you a a probability as to when this debris was deposited?
It was placed there after the current growing season, because otherwise it would have been covered with vegetation. There would have been seed in those piles of soil. There would have been not grasses, but there would have been vegetation growing out of those that had germinated during the growing season of 2025. So it was sometime after the growing season, really, because there's nothing growing out of them.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, the reason I didn't go there is because we know the date range. We know it doesn't match what I expected that answer to be, so, but I appreciate the question.
Okay. I had a couple of questions.
I'm sorry, but before you do that, I don't want to lose the thought. Again, just to put it out there as a potential condition, if there is an approval that if, and you don't have to answer this right now, because I'm sure we're coming back, not finishing tonight, but if the, you have 4 minutes and about 6 more witnesses, so no. The debris that we saw as a condition to be removed, right? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, are they allowed to remove that if?
You know, you're the expert. Are they allowed to go on there and remove the debris that's in that area now?
I can't speak for New Jersey DEP, but I think that you could fit that in under property maintenance.
Okay, just curious.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And these maps that you obtained, do you rely upon them in the normal course of business?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any more questions. Any other board members?
I have a question.
Okay.
If I look at, my understanding is that figure 1 is the NJDEP mapped
Yes, sir.
wetland. Which are you contending the applicant needs to follow? Figure 1 or your figure 3? Which are very different.
Yeah. So those are non-regulatory boundaries that DEP has on there. The responsibility of the property owner is to have them verified and delineated by a professional, but those are approximations, and I believe the wording on their website is that if you see a wetland boundary on or adjacent to your property, you need to have a professional come out and determine whether there are wetlands on your property.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other board members with questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
On figure 3, that area that's delineated as fill,
Yes.
maybe you testified to this or provided some more additional, can you just elaborate as to what that fill is or what it consists of, or?
That's what's in the photographs.
Oh, okay, so that's.
So it's stone,
green.
rubble, soil,
Okay, all right.
trees, tires.
And then just to keep the record straight and to make sure that this is labeled correctly, on figure 3, it says these are the site conditions observed on 10/27/2025. But just from my own experience, that whole front section is already sort of like a garden center, so I'm not sure, is this picture?
Oh, yeah, I didn't put
So
the
I don't know,
date.
it's just-
Yeah, I didn't put the date of the aerial photograph on. It's the same aerial photograph that was used on figure 1. I have to have something for background, otherwise it would just
Okay.
be white lines.
So it says site conditions observed on 10/27/2025, but those site conditions aren't necessarily, what are those site conditions referring to, the delineated areas?
Yes,
'Cause
yes,
that-
to my markup, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Any other board members with questions?
Just one quick question.
Sure.
The view on the last page.
Yes.
With the ditch, does that correspond to one of the blue lines on sheet 3 of 6, figure 4?
It corresponds to the blue line on figure 3. The one that goes up.
Okay.
It's hard to see. There's like multiple layers on there, and it all depends on the background that you have under it. But that straight line going up the shoulder or of the side of Pear Avenue is that photograph.
I see. Thank you.
Yes, towards South Street. Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Joe, do you have any questions? You there?
I'm here. No, I've retained all the video images. I can see them clearly. I understand the presentation. I think the most important consideration is what Rich had spoken to earlier regarding outside agency approvals, as well as an understanding that those that are prior disturbances may be dealt with by DEP at a enforcement level to remove and approve that activity that was spoken to earlier as a condition. And then other activities, particularly anything else in the new site plan proposed, may trigger some form of permitting that would be identified during a pre-application meeting.
Okay, thank you. Any members of the public with questions of this witness? Seeing none, hearing none. Mr. Calley, any other questions?
No questions, but I do have a question for you, Mr. Chairman, and the members of the board. I'm curious as to how long Objectors Council believes he needs with Mr. Zybora on direct, because I imagine it's limited, the acoustic witness. I don't know if the board's pleasure is to hang in for a few minutes. If it's a matter of a few minutes, I would ask the board to consider, but I don't know what he really expects on direct.
I expect it to not more than 15 minutes. If the board would indulge us and allow us to get them out of the way, and then we just have to close.
And then at that point, Mr. Chairman, after their planner testifies, I would have a recall of, well, now 3 witnesses, because after Mr. Vieira's, testimony this evening, my applicant would like to testify again. And attack the veracity of that testimony. So we'll have 3 limited witnesses. I probably have 20 minutes of direct after they conclude their case in chief.
I think Mr. Calley has made a very good suggestion if the board is willing, and I will tell my witness to speed it up. Seriously.
Yeah, is the board okay with staying a little lighter tonight? Okay.
Sure.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Okay. It's never 10 minutes. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will give to this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So
Yes, I do.
And your name for the record, please?
It's Jack Zabora. That's Zybura.
Okay, Mr. Zabora, I have just promised the board we're going to speed your testimony. So, can you tell the board how you have, or you're here as an acoustical engineer?
Yes.
And can you tell the board what qualifications you have that allow you to testify as an acoustical engineer?
Certainly. I have a bachelor's of science in acoustical engineering from the University of Hartford. I'm a professional engineer in New Jersey and 5 other states, all currently in good standing. I'm board certified by Institute of Noise Control Engineering, and I'm an associate principal at Lewis Goodfriend and Associates out of Chester, New Jersey.
And in order for you to give testimony today, what steps have you taken?
I reviewed the application materials on the website of the town, Google imagery, and research and data that we've conducted from previous projects applied to this project. I've also visited the site of John's house, Weissenberg's.
And did you also use your expertise to use a computer model to present that we're going to present to the board?
Yes, I did.
And did you do a baseline of just an acoustical baseline?
Yes, I did.
All right. And based on that, Mr. Chair, and again, I'll slow it down if you wish, I offer Mr. Zabora as an expert on certain acoustical aspects of the application.
And your certification is still valid today?
Yes, sir.
Larry, anything?
No, I'm familiar with his credentials. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have 5 exhibits tonight. The first one is just another aerial view of the site. You can pull that up.
Okay, so we're going to mark this as 011, and what just got handed out to the board is a package of 3 sheets.
5 sheets, should be.
I have 3.
001 through 001.
I have 001, 2, and 3.
Does everybody else just have 3?
I have 3.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give it a moment. Sorry about that.
For brevity, the first page is an aerial view. The second sheet is a time history of baseline sound levels, and the remaining 3 sheets are sound contour maps.
Yeah, I'll swap it.
Are you giving me the only two sheets?
All right, 5 sheets. Okay, so just for the record, 011 is 5 sheets. And you are going to describe what they are for us.
Sure. First sheet is an aerial view with labeling of property owners for the residents. Sheet 2 is a time history of measured sound levels at Mr. Weissenberg's property. And sheets 3, 4, and 5 are sound contour maps of various modeling results.
All right, what is, in terms of the work you did, what is the point of having the first sheet?
Sure. This is just to orient, I mean, we've all seen aerials, so I don't think we have to dwell on this. This is just to orient the property. North is up. So we can go ahead to the second sheet.
You've actually labeled out.
Yes.
I don't really want you to, I mean, this isn't the important part.
Yeah,
So,
let's
like,
go to
I
the
don't
second
really
sheet.
want you to, like, we're here.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So I did visit Mr. Weissenberg's property on December 4th and measured the background sound levels that exist there today from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. You can see over this chart, they roughly hover around 50 decibels, 50 dBA. That's the median sound level, like the 50th percentile, sort of an average sound level of what's out there today. Moving on to the second sheet, we use commercially available software. It's called SoundPlan. It uses standardized calculation tools to calculate how sound propagates over distance. And it takes into account the distance between source and receiver, reflection and shielding from buildings. In this case, we also included air absorption, ground absorption. And what I've modeled here is an event taking place inside the proposed event space with the windows closed. And inside that event space, which is shown in the light gray, I have a level of 100 decibels, which from my experience, I've measured during weddings and so forth. That's a reasonable level to assume for an indoor event. And with the windows closed, this doesn't look too bad, actually. We're roughly around 50 decibels at the nearest property lines to the north. And that's just to kind of give the baseline here. Now, if those windows were to be opened, we can now progress to the next sheet. And you can see it gets vastly louder. Other direction, Eric. 004.
Heather, just since I've been given the opportunity to slow you down a little bit, can you just talk about the model that you've done and how much of it is subjective and you just inventing stuff and how much of it is technical expertise in which you have no leeway or little leeway?
Well, the modeling is a 3D computer model. We use Google Imagery. We use the site plans that were available on the website to reconstruct the site and surrounding areas in this 3D acoustical model. And then we input sound sources, and we have to import those as sound power levels, which are independent of distance. And then the model takes that input data and propagates the sound pressure levels at the adjacent property line. Sound pressure level is what's subject to the code. Okay, so in New Jersey, daytime code is 65 decibels, nighttime code is 50 decibels.
So the exercise that you have done for the board that you're demonstrating tonight, you've gone through this type of exercise before?
We do this all the time for proposed applications because many times you can't go out and measure a site that isn't quite there yet. You have to model and have input assumptions to predict expected sound levels.
And how many times in your career would you say you have done this type of computer analysis?
Hundreds, over 16 years.
Have they ever been rejected?
Not by a board, no.
Okay. Why don't you continue?
So the sheet that's up on here now is what happens if you were to open those windows. So I'm still 100 decibels inside. Windows are open. Now we're certainly blaring the sound out. It's certainly above the daytime code in the neighborhood. The truth in all this is really how good are the windows that they've installed. I haven't heard testimony as to what kind of windows they are, if they're going to be keeping them shut or not during events. But that's certainly a problematic issue that should be addressed. Anything else on this one?
Sure. We're looking at G4.
Yes.
Yeah, let's look at what sound level you show for Mr. Weisgerber's house and for Mr. Vieira's house. With you having had the baseline on your one data point at roughly 50 decibels, what do you have here?
Yeah, so at approximately 73 decibels at Weissenberger and 66, 67 decibels at Vieira.
All right, and what does it mean for human ears, for hearing, for there to be a differential of sound from, let's say, 55 decibels to 73 decibels. What does
Yes.
that mean?
So every time you add 10 decibels, it's really a doubling of perception. So if we were at 50 and we went to 60, it's twice as loud as you previously perceived. And now if we went to 70, it's twice as loud again
Twice as loud as the 60, or again, twice as loud as the 50?
as the 60. So two doublings of perceived
So
loudness.
it's 4 times as loud?
Yes.
And so, all right, so at Mr. Weisgerber's house, it's 4 times the, what I'll say, the ambient sound. And at Mr. Vieira's house, it's roughly
Yeah, double and a half
double
or so.
plus. Okay,
The last figure we presented here.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Mr. Vieira testified to, an effect where the sound goes ratcheting along
Yes,
Prospect.
I think that'll be better shown in the next exhibit, but yes. Yep.
Okay.
So last exhibit we have is with the sound source in the open courtyard outdoors. Now this one, again, based on measurements I've performed of live music at an outdoor event, I have this at the level of 90 decibels at 10 feet from the speaker. And the speaker is kind of where that purple area is in the center of the screen. That's where I have the speaker placed. And here you can see what was explained by Mr. Vieira. You do get this tunneling effect where the sound is pointing north. If you can go to the next slide there. Number 5. There we go. So yeah, so due to the shielding of the buildings, it does tend to project the sound to the north and slightly to the east and also to the south.
It almost looks like it's a liquid and it's spilling in that direction.
That's right, because the sound is being shielded and blocked by the buildings to the west and east and funneling up to the north.
And what's the decibel reading you have then for this one with the outdoor venue?
Yeah, so here at Weisberger, we're over 65, it's about 66 decibels. So again, much louder than the 50 that's out there now. At the closer house, we're still sitting around 69, 70 decibels.
And then Mr. Vieira's house is
And Vieira's is in the 60s, yep.
it's louder indoors with a window than outdoors.
And notice with the windows open, it's louder because the sound is more concentrated inside. The room reflections build up that sound and project it out of the building.
Do you have anything else that you want to tell the board about your exhibit?
No, I think that sums it up.
Okay, I thank the board for allowing us to do this. I think Mr. Calico was suggesting. I have no further questions.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Board members, any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So, thank you for this riveting explanation of the colors. In your opinion, what are measures that the applicant could take to mitigate the decibel level short of turning the sound down?
I mean, there's certainly a lot of unknowns here. So one would be to confirm what the window performance is and commit to having windows closed during performances. I understand that the space is air conditioned, if I remember from a prior hearing, so they might be doing that anyway. That would be good to confirm, and also confirm what the window configurations are. If the window is not as beefy as the one that I had in my model, the truth will be somewhere between the two, the open and the closed window results that I had.
Yes.
Could you give us an idea of what would be the decibel level of a leaf blower at like 50 feet?
Of course, it depends on the leaf blower. I can certainly see, if you're wearing the leaf blower, you're probably experiencing 90 to 100 decibels of sound. So I think that'd be comparable to what the speaker would be in the middle of the event area.
Is there much of a difference between electric and gas?
I think electric would be quieter, yes.
Yeah, I know that where I am, the leaf blowers go on and I have to go inside.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes. Any other questions?
No, that's good.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Copeland?
I do have one question. So you had mentioned oftentimes you use these modeling softwares and tools because nothing is built there. There's nothing there yet. So you have to rely on the models. In this particular instance, we do have a facility that is built and they've had events and that is up and running. So is your firm or do the work you do you often go out to measure decibel levels? Let's say, for example, spring is coming. They have an event where you would then take readings actually during a real-time
We certainly could. We'd have to be aware of the event and we would have to be assured that they're not turning it down because they know we're out there that day, of course.
But you have done that kind of
Yes,
work.
we do physical measurements on site, all the time.
Thank you.
Any other questions from board members? Any questions from members of the public? This witness, seeing none, hearing none. Mr. Cowley, any more questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank the board for allowing us to do this.
Yes, okay. We have a new date, when we're gonna do this? I know we got the new.
So it depends on if you want to list this next. We have those other agenda items. So where
Or homeowner applications on, and as we learned when we started, one of them has a lot of objectors there, so that meeting's probably pretty booked up.
Yeah.
That would put us to the April meeting.
there's one already for the April meeting.
One C variance,
Yes.
unless the board wants to consider another special,
In what month?
whenever you want to do it, tomorrow. Hey, I don't know.
Right. We're just trying to debate, we're looking at, we have like 4 applications for the next meeting, the meeting in 2 weeks.
That's
3
why
weeks.
I asked the objective counsel how much he needs for his planner. He thinks it'll be 30 minutes. Hopefully, it can come in tighter. We need probably less than 30 to go through 3 minutes at this point.
Yeah, and then there's a board deliberation and
Right.
testimony from anybody else, right? So, probably 2 hours.
I love the first available agenda, particularly while it's fresh in people's minds.
Right,
Um,
but I think we have to. do
So
those-
what if we did this? What if we could schedule you, our next available meeting to the April meeting. We can canvass the board to see if there's a date available where, we can have a special between now and, 3 weeks from now or something, right?
Or even shortly thereafter, as
Yeah,
opposed to waiting all the way to the end of April.
right.
Because I think the April meeting is like the 25th or something.
Yeah, it's the end of
the fourth Monday, right?
Right. Yeah, it's fourth month.
27th,
Yeah.
correct.
27th?
Yes.
Yeah,
Again?
so if we do it that way though, you have to renotice.
That's fine.
Is that all right?
I think my client would be fine with that if they were not.
Right.
Special.
Because, we need,
birthday.
I need Joe to see his schedule. I
Sure.
need, Kate, who's not able to be here tonight, to know if they're available. And especially that's the planning testimony night, and she should be here.
Sure.
So, we have to canvass the board for available dates. There's all that stuff, right? But we can do that. And we can canvass and try and fit in another special. I mean, we canceled 2 meetings because of the weather, so.
I know, and we appreciate.
we're trying to
off cycle
have another
tonight.
special to make up, to catch us up, isn't the worst idea. But for now, we can announce April, and if that works, you'd have to re-notice.
Right, at least we preserve the April date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Right.
if there's a special opportunity.
Yeah, we'll lock up April.
It's a good problem we have if we have to renotice, because that means we're here that much sooner and it's.
Thoughts, Phil?
So what's the date right now?
April
7th.
27th is our next available night. You good? Yeah. All right, and what I was saying is, I'll announce that in a second, but in the meantime, we'll canvass the board and see if we can fit in a special before that, to try and conclude. Okay? All right, if that happens, the applicant will have to renotice, because we don't have it now to announce it. Right? Okay, so for purposes of the public, this meeting is coming to an end for this evening. It will continue on April 27th at 7 PM in this room. There'll be no further notices from the applicant unless we are able to schedule another special meeting, in which case there will be a new notice from the applicant, only in that case. Okay?
Excuse me, Mr. Aller?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? And maybe, I don't know if it's something we could poll or ask the board about, but I mean, we don't do it often, but at times we have actually done a site visit as a board. So I didn't know if there would be an appetite from the board members, given the sort of enormity of what's happening here on this tract of land, to actually have a site visit and take a look at it if, sometime in early April or
Well-
before the next meeting or.
We do have signed permission to go on the property to evaluate if you want to go on your own.
Okay.
As opposed to this, if we do a official site visit, we've got to announce it. Members of the public can be there, and we've got to set a date. Now, do we have to give notice of it too?
We could announce it here,
Yeah, that would be
right now.
nice.
Yeah, that would be the notice.
Okay.
Right.
Or else we can just do it informally on our own, whoever.
We can
Call
do
up
three
your
at a time.
clients.
Three of us can go at once.
Three at a time?
Yeah, you can't have a quorum, but individuals can go.
Up to three at a time.
Right, you just can't have four.
And I don't know if it's a valid question to ask the applicant, like, do they have any scheduled events coming up in the next month where we could actually hear or see any? Because
Well, they
apparently,
shouldn't,
I know, but I'm just,
because
you know, but based on the
that's why
testimony
they're
we've
here.
heard.
Check their website.
right?
Yeah, okay,
Instagram.
Right.
Check that.
okay.
Just scroll through.
So, I don't know, is there an appetite for a joint board review?
I mean, because there's the interior space as well that's been finished, so I think, you know, I think there's been a lot of interior work done inside the property to plan for the event, like building up the event space, the kitchen, like, I think there's already stuff deployed there. I don't know, I mean, I'll take another visit there myself and Ed, but yeah, so if you're okay with just doing that,
Without a
individually, that's
quorum.
fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that'd be easier.
Just individuals will view it.
And the site visit would allow, or we have permission to go on the property, but also in the property as well. Is that correct? With a
Absolutely. I
court?
think the applicant would certainly welcome, they want you to see what they've
Okay.
done. It's been a tremendous investment to date, not just the time here, but on the property. They would enjoy you folks here. They're very proud of what they've done there, so more than welcome.
Thank you for
And yes, it's
clarifying.
on property, in the building.
Okay,
One other question. We need an extension to the end of April?
We'll gladly grant one through April.
Okay, then we'll see where we're at. Hopefully, we're done.
Hopefully, we'll have to see where we're at that point. Yeah, hopefully we're done. We'll see.
Anything else?
It might snow.
Don't say that.
Not on my birthday.
That's your birthday then?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, so if there is going to be a walkthrough, and would that be a site visit?
No, we're gonna just do it like, we have permission to go on the property as part of the application. So it's not gonna be like an official, the entire board going at once. Anybody that wants to visit the site will do it on their own. Maybe contact the applicant and say, you know, I wanna be there on such and such a date. But it's not gonna be like a formal walkthrough.
Part of the application has an
Board
owner's
member
consent.
authorization, not your team. This is an authorization to the board under Title 40.
Right.
So I'm just accustomed to site visit being a public.
It's not a site visit. It's, as part of the application, there's a owner's consent that any member of the board individually can go look at the site. So they're just going to do that individually. Okay.
Right. Anything else?
Okay, so April 27th, unless we schedule something, in which case you'll notice it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Any other business for the board? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned.